Hey guys, got a new t-shirt coming at you real quick. You've been super supportive with these and I really appreciate it. They've done so well. We've had a joke in our industry for quite some time that as long as there's an internet, we can't get fired. And so I present to you the Can't Get Fired Productions Vintage Style Tee. We have been joking about making this shirt forever and now I'm super happy we finally have. You can only get it until September 22nd. But get the Can't Get Fired Productions Vintage Tee. This is like my new favorite t-shirt now. I love this thing so much. I'm going to be wearing this everywhere. And only through September 22nd. Thank you for watching The Smoking Tire. Now enjoy. Are you ready? That's my Robo Macho Man Radio Savage. Hello, Smoking Tire Podcast. See how you just turn it on there? You go from basically comatose to energetic for the show. Just like that. What's happening, people? Sparkles. Ah, sparkles. Fucking video. The gear. Every day it's a new thing. Every day we have a new system, but today we can celebrate because we have new internet. That's right, folks. 300 down, 20 up. That means live streaming is coming soon. Not today, but soon. More importantly, today, Tyler Hoover from Hoovie Garage. Welcome, sir.
Howdy. Thank you for having me.
From Wichita, Kansas?
Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita,
yes.
Kansas. If you can't, let's hear that accent.
Wichita, Kansas.
That's brilliant.
Wichita, we got space.
Wiki, wiki, Wichita.
Whereas as it turns out, you can amass a collection of between 10 and 14 vehicles. He's not actually sure.
No, if you count, then that's the first step in admitting there's a problem.
Yes.
Right.
Counting. Yes, I don't count.
You just have some.
I have some.
Based on just what I can see on your website, which Timmy has pulled up for us there. Boom! Yeah. Like that for the video, folks. We say it, and there it is. You've got, I see a 911. Oh, look at that SL.
My first car.
Oh, that SL.
Still have it.
Do you have that? Is that got the tight little Euro bumpers on it?
Correct. That's the Euro 500 SL.
Those wheels alone look like they are. Are those the real? Are they the real deal?
They are the real deal Pentas. I found them a long time ago. Yeah.
Those wheels look too tough for that car.
They're fine. You
true.
ever seen one of those with the Euro body kit on it and shit? It looks, it's the best.
I have the AMG front spoiler on it as well, but that was actually my grandmother's car. She got it new, and then she gave it to me when I was 16. It was my first car. I still have it.
What
31.
What motor is that?
5 liter. V8,
It's
aluminum.
560 or 5? Is it a
500?
It's a 500.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a Europe only model?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought you did the Euro bumpers. It came that way. That's baller as fuck. Yeah. How did your grandmother get it in Kansas?
It was my dad. She wanted a Chrysler LeBaron, which would have been
a woman of taste.
My dad was like, hell no. He wanted something that he could sneak out and drive on the weekends. He's in his early 20s. And so he does the whole gray market order form with the fastest car, the limited slip, the ABS, the spoiler, everything, and goes black on black. And she takes a look at the order form, doesn't know any of the mechanical options, but looks at the colors and goes, no. So there's white on navy blue. And he was so offended by the colors, he never drove it. So it's the fastest production Mercedes of the year in grandma colors.
We got the 560 in America, but the Euro 500s were actually faster.
Yep.
I bet you white on blue at the time was pretty much dealer poison. You're in a dealer family. You come from a family of dealers.
Well, really just me, but I
meant you're growing from you down.
What did your dad do that his parents trusted him? Like, oh, pick a car for us.
Well, at the time he was a geologist. They were all in the oil business, and about that time was when the oil business tanked. So they got the Mercedes right before things went really downhill in the mid '80s.
It's a gray market import, though.
Right.
Because I didn't even know you could get that here at the time. That's like, what, was that pre-laws?
They slammed the door in 1985 on that. And that's when those...
So it's got to be rare here.
All you needed was a used car dealer's license to import new Mercedes from Germany. You'd buy it from the dealer direct there and then import it and then resell it. And obviously, the door needed to be closed on that because the big franchise dealers were just getting robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the end of gray market. But you got how many miles are on that thing?
130-something thousand now.
It's fresh. It looks nice.
It is, yeah. Amazingly, I didn't do anything stupid with it. I thought about, like, when I remember being 16 and thinking about painting the Burlwood yellow for some reason, and I did have some
the Burlwood yellow. Oh, how
Yeah.
glad are
Lakers
you that
fan?
you didn't do
Oh, well, I had some modern AMG wheels on it before that I'd put that were staggered that really didn't look right on the car, but it was perfect for a high schooler trying to show off.
Nothing
know.
goes with navy blue like yellow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
that?
Yes.
If you're on like the Lakers, you know.
You're right.
Who? Wait, how old are you, Tyler?
31.
Okay, so you're all right. So I understand in high school that would have been an appropriate thing to do.
Right.
Painting about that period.
Yes, Pimp My Rides on TV.
100%.
Yes, all those
100%.
shows, the Overhaulings.
You would have been
yeah.
on trend had
Yeah.
you done it. Boy, are you lucky you're not on trend.
Yeah.
Tim, all those pictures of LeBarons are just. Can you just bring over that whole screen? Just don't even finish the search. And
I
pick
used to ride to
the
school in one of
whole,
those.
the whole screen of LeBarons. How you could have been in a fucking LeBaron, my friend.
Well, funny enough, I actually have a LeBaron now
Do you?
as well. I get the wood paneled.
Is that
Mark
one of
Cross
the
edition.
14?
Yes.
Is it like that LeBaron? Is it like the John Voight from Seinfeld LeBaron?
That's actually the exact car. I don't know how you came up with that in Google, but
That's
I bought
your
that
car?
guy from that guy. If you look at the picture, if you look at the
way.
picture, he's called the LeBaron Baron, and he had 22 of them.
Oh, this
Look at all the
is-
cars behind it.
Oh, wait. I saw
He's
this on
the
Reddit.
LeBaron.
Was there a thread on Reddit that you
It was-
bought one of the guy was selling all of them or something?
It was everywhere. Yeah, he was unloading his collection of wood paneled
Wait,
LeBarons.
he's the LeBaron Baron? Is
They
that
call him the
redundant
LeBaron
twice?
Baron,
Should
yes.
be, I am LeBaron.
I called
He
him up.
should just be the Baron.
But LeBaron, he is LeBaron.
That's the saying.
Right.
Right.
You can't. What's the movie Airheads? You're lone. The Lone Rangers. You can't pluralize Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
So that's yours.
He had a lot of them, so but it's the same guy. But I told him I wanted one with no rust. That was my only thing. I was like, it can be fine. I just don't want one with rust. This thing showed up. The floors are gone.
I mean, if you can't trust the Baron, who can?
It wasn't.
No
So
rust, no termites.
it's a basket case. It's done.
Oh well. I mean, in fairness, even the world's best LeBaron is an utter pile of shit.
True. But I got
Which
a great.
would be a TC
That's it.
a Chrysler TC by Maserati.
The one on the
Oh,
left
man, the
with the
fifth wheel.
Continental body kit is what it called.
Oh, the
That's
tire, the
amazing.
tire.
He
kit.
called me up and he said, "Hey, I found some rust on the floor pans and I got your check and I found a little rust. Is that okay?" He's like, "Well, not really." He's like, "Well, I've already got the money and it's sort of an as-is sale. I just found it, but I tell you what, I'll throw in the rest of that Continental kit for the rear of your car just to make up for it." I was like,
Hey,
I mean, okay,
let me
about-
give you herpes while I'm at
Yeah,
it.
I feel like rust is usually
like
fairly
$1,000
obvious.
LeBaron. Okay, it's fine. Whatever, just get it here.
So now you have it. Now what?
I made a video. I don't know what it's definitely my weirdest video yet because I basically recreated the Ricardo Montalban Chrysler commercial with
the
with
real
the fine
Corinthian
Corinthian
leather.
leather. Yes,
It doesn't have Corinthian leather, does it?
it's Mark Cross edition. So the designer, yeah,
Who the fuck is Mark?
apparently some designer in the '80s, like what were those
Timmy,
Lincolns?
can you look up who Mark Cross LeBaron is? Who
It was like
MAR
a leather.
Is it like
bags.
MARC?
They're still around. Yeah, they make me leather bags.
Dude,
and
you need to find
leather
a
things.
Chrysler TC by Maserati.
Yes, I would do that.
That car is the one. You know these things, right?
I haven't seen one in a very
It's
long
got
time.
like a Maserati Landau roof and a slightly smaller grille and opera windows on a LeBaron. It's just the saddest.
The pillow top seats
The
do it for me, and you can get a manual transmission one. That's the other thing. It's just like,
Can you really?
They exist
In
yes.
America or
Yes.
Europe only?
Yes, there was one for sale recently somewhere. I
Fuck
saw it.
off.
It was
Look
like,
at that seat, bro.
It
Yep,
does
Mark
look
Cross.
better.
Wow,
than
that's a seat.
It's very comfortable. It's more comfortable than the Mercedes for sure. But yeah, it drives.
That looks like my
crap.
grandfather's chair that had 30 years of cigar smoke in it.
That's perfectly aged. You know how much people pay to get that color?
I
To
know.
Get that cigar smoke
Massage it and
look?
tan it for sure.
That's like thousands of dollars someone would
Yeah.
pay for that look. If you had a Ferrari 250 Lusso, wouldn't you want that exact color leather in that shit?
I felt like there was such
100%.
a disparity back then between the design of like the soft touch, like the interior of the seats and the tuck and roll on the side,
Right.
and then you turn your head and you look at the steering wheel and it's like a rectangle. It's like an 80s Atari game, but
Yeah.
over here is like 60s Rat Pack kind of stuff.
We haven't even
that.
covered.
Oh, jeez.
We haven't even covered the best part of the car yet, and that's the EVA system, the Chrysler talking computer that says.
no. What does it say?
You turn on the car. It says, "Please fasten your seatbelts."
Fuck me.
When you fasten your seatbelt, it says, "Thank you for everything you do." If the headlights need to be on, you turn them on. It says, "Thank you." It thanks you for everything. Your oil pressure is low. prompt service is required. If the thing stalls out. And it's
We
like,
did
yeah.
such dumb things when computers were new. We were just like, check it out what you can do, and just put it in the car.
Dude, put it in drive. Thank you for your gear selection. You want to be like, fuck, it would make you so mad.
But
That-
people were so excited about computers and that ability.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I believe it was the Lincoln Town Car from the '80s. The Your Door is Ajar.
Yes.
That's Lincoln Town Car. Right?
That was the Chrysler's.
Was it Chrysler's
I
also?
think, yeah, but
Your door is ajar.
they actually-
Your door is ajar.
they actually got the voice from the Speak and Spell from Texas Instruments, that toy. So it's the same voice. And this is the dumbest video I've ever done, where I decided to recreate the Young Frankenstein with the talking EVA system. So I'm out there doing the song and dance and hit the car, and it talks. Just
Thank you.
Poor Doug watched that, and he messaged me like, "What the?"
That's hilarious. Well, if you can make Doug go, what the fuck? Wow. Chrysler LeBaron. Okay, so should we just like work our way through your collection of shit boxes?
There's
well.
some good ones.
No,
in
there
there.
are some good ones. Well, he bought a C36.
I saw it, yeah.
You basically said you wanted to be you wanted to fit in Monterey.
Well, yeah, it was 50th anniversary of AMG, and I just wanted something that fit into what I do and what was going on out there. And it turned out I had the only C36 at Legends of the Autobahn. I parked right next to the R63, the Mercedes minivan. That's
Yeah.
only like 200 of those.
They're great.
Yeah.
You ever drive one of them?
No.
Timmy, did that picture come up? That's a beautiful press photo of the C36.
Yeah. Looks just like.
Look at that. What happened there? Oh, there it is. That's a fucking great picture. It's a nice car too for $5,000 or whatever you paid for
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Look at how much metal construction has changed in like 20 years. Like now we have flame surfacing. Like they could write your name in metal crease right now if they wanted to, and this is just like slab, but like a slight rake to it, to the hood, and that kind of advertises
That's sort of by
performance.
choice.
Well,
That's a good looking crane shot there.
Construction
That's
was
the
much
best
simpler.
angle.
Yes.
That's a good angle right there. That's a good looking car, and it's so cool because the C36 is like the inline six one. Like it sounds like an M3 kind of. It doesn't really sound like a typical AMG car.
How much horsepower did that car have?
Like 286, something like that. It was based off because it was like 190 horsepower inline six engine.
American
They really-
M3 owners were like, fuck.
Yeah, but automatics.
The
only,
auto,
so-
man, I'll tell you
Yeah,
what. And
not
we
good.
learned a lesson today. So today, the one take shoots, you know how they get their streaks, right? Like I schedule people based on like, oh, today I'm booking November 2nd, whatever. And streaks just happen. Today, accidentally, completely unintentionally, proven by the fact that you brought a completely different car than you were going to bring.
By accident, yeah.
By accident. And we ended up today being vintage Mercedes day.
Ooh.
So like I had my SL up there, but I drove an E500. I drove his C36, and then this dude brought out a CLK 430 coupe, the roundy ones, the kind of good-looking ones. But he did a 6-speed swap in it. Changed the game.
Wow.
Completely changes the game. The car becomes like really nice to drive.
Yeah.
And you had a go in it too, didn't
Yes,
you? Wasn't
excellent.
it nice?
Excellent, yeah.
It completely changes like the character of the engine, and everything is like different out of a Crossfire.
And that's something you could still do back then, because when we were talking to Dieter about swapping modern Mercedes and Bengals, he's like, no way.
Yeah,
There's
no,
too
it's
many
not
computers.
happening. No, he said what he had to do was basically trick the engine into thinking it was in neutral the whole time.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, I don't know how to do
That's
that, but
amazing.
like, it really changes the dynamic of the car completely.
Yeah.
You can actually go way faster in it just because you're like in the right gear. It's great.
Because before those things had what? This is the 5-speed slush box with the
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
five-speed auto. The same one I
Geographic
have in the
shift
SL.
pattern.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It's
mean,
very
great.
durable, but not sporty at
Not
all.
sporty.
No,
Yeah.
but having the guy who did it was you'll see the video. He was wondering about the limits of it with power because he wants to put the 55 motor in now because that's an easy swap too.
Yeah.
So it was a gearbox was out of a Crossfire. The clutch is also Crossfire. The bell housing did he make it? He made an adapter or something.
That
didn't
sounds
ask
like
him.
a combo that's ready for power. That's just.
I don't know. Yeah, right.
I made this adapter
Who knows?
Crossfire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The 4.3 is only 275 horsepower, so that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, with the manual, it really makes good use of the 275 horsepower. You actually, because you end up
Kind
like
of right ratios.
you
and
just
stuff.
in your automatic car, like how often are you just like at the top of the power band? Like not that often.
No,
So
shifting.
especially because his car with the 6 would be like butter.
Right. because they like to scream up at that red line. They'll just
Yeah, because at the top it sounds really good too.
Yeah.
It's a nice car, and for his has 210K on it, and it's still held up real nice. It's
Nice.
Good. Yeah, it's
Very
good.
nice.
They built that car well.
90s Mercedes.
We were talking because the E500 today was another car. Mercedes in the 90s like shuttled cars back and forth between plants, like the 500 to the Porsche factory back and forth, and then his car up the road to the AMG factory back and forth. They were just like shuttling cars
Who
around.
built what?
Yeah, like they'd build complete 280s and then truck them up the road and pull the motors out and put these stroker motors in. Pretty much.
they weren't making money.
No, they
No
were
way.
losing so much money.
Same with that S-Class back then because they spent $1 billion developing that S-Class. And actually, after 1995, they cheapened it up.
Yeah.
Because they just couldn't go that high with the materials for the price.
Did you have one of those too? That S class?
Yeah.
Or you have the older. You have 80s S class or 90s S class. Which one?
I've
do you
had
have?
both, but I
And
don't
now
have one
you
right
have
now.
the 07 S class.
Correct.
You're not an S class, man. But tell Zach the story of the S class.
The one current
The
one?
current one. Yeah.
Oh, that was a Christmas Day find posted on a forum, and the guy had toasted the motor. It was actually his son was a boat mechanic, and they thought they could patch a radiator on a car that cost $160,000 new. It was a 2007 Mercedes S600, the
I love
V12 bi-turbo, and he cooked it, killed it. They put it up on the forums for $10,000, and I got him down to $4,500. Was there the next day with the trailer, hauled it back. Motor was $4,500.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, huge
It's
motor.
almost worth it just for the seats. You know,
Oh.
just for to put the interior in like a Chevelle. You know?
Well, that was the thing. He's like, I think he said the roof panel sells for $4,500 because
Yeah,
it's
you
got the
could
panorama
part it
roof.
out, yeah.
I was like, okay, $4,500 sounds good. And he's like, okay, that was it. Yeah, and then just going through. That was actually my video. My first one to go viral was documenting that. It was the 1-year ownership report of that and how much I had spent fixing it and going through and showing the features and that kind of stuff. And it's got close to 3 million views now, which is pretty nuts.
Wow, good for you.
That was an accident because I was supposed to film a buddy's Ferrari 355 and then he canceled because it was a 355 and it broke. 'Cause that's what they do.
Did you get to drive the 355 eventually?
No, I still haven't yet.
Really?
I've driven a 348 and a 360.
Pester the guy. It's better than both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. 348s aren't as bad as people say they are.
Never liked the styling of this S class. Inside, super comfortable.
Yeah, but
and
for
they're
like
quick.
10 G's,
oh, for
bro,
sure.
that's fucking fire.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
$4,500. And what'd you do? You just had to.
You put the motor and then you put it in.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean it was like 14,000 all in or something like that. Still great.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
that's a twin turbo 12. Is that a complicated engine? I mean, even though you presume, you took it out yourself?
no, that's out of my league. I don't have any of the equipment to. Yeah, way out of my league.
Oh, okay. So you had it done. So you
Correct.
okay, all
I
right.
spent like another $4,500 going through replacing radiator, doing with the motor. So it just seemed to be an even number. That's the car right there.
Yes.
That's my car.
Those wheels are fuego. Those are good wheels.
Land yacht. But like that's a good one.
What a
Luxurious cruiser.
delightful automobile, though.
Oh yeah, it's great. It gets 20 miles per gallon on the highway. I just took it on a road trip not too long ago.
Doesn't that thing still use the same 5-speed? It's
Yes.
they all
ancient.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Yes.
that's like the only trans they had. They could hold the torque up until the newest stuff. Now
Right.
they have like proper gearboxes to do. That's a pretty car, though. My dad had a 500 of that vintage that I liked a lot, but it was broken a lot.
I think the profile's okay, but I've never liked the headlights. I just thought they were really weird. And then when they came out of that and they went to like the CLS, the 4-door coupe type thing, it put it all together.
The funny thing, after putting it all together and sorting it out,
See, look
flawless
how much you
for
think.
2 years.
Pull that picture up, Timmy. How much do you think they charge for that color interior? That's fucking alligator. That shit is. that
Oh
shit
my
is
God.
fresh.
Whoa, there's alligator everywhere.
It's alligator.
Dashboard.
That's fucking hot, dude.
Alligator
That looks
dashboard.
like some Brabus or like Darts, or one of them Eastern European guys. That's pretty sick though.
If you had a really great year selling yachts in Miami,
Right?
You pull up in that, or like you own
Remember,
all.
you
all
know
the
who
gun
I'm thinking
stores.
of? The guy. You remember the guy from the thing? I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
I
do
do.
this. That's a horrible thing to do on a podcast. There's we met a guy doing a thing who was the perfect embodiment of that fucking interior. I was in Germany a couple years ago with Rob Ferretti, and we went to the Gimbala factory. the wide, not known for restraint. And I will say that while I thought the cars were absolutely heinous looking, they were, obviously, but
you go to an art supply store and you see 80 pens on the wall, and you're like, who uses all these colors?
dude,
Gambala.
Timmy, pull up Gambala Cayenne interior. Their interior work was incredible. I mean, it was like these crazy weaves of like leather.
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
that. Look at that. That could be the exact car. The quilting and the leather work and there must have been a dozen materials. I mean, it was a bit like, overload and overstyled, but like the work,
it's
the
done well.
execution was ridiculous.
Quilted door sills are nice.
Yeah.
I saw I want to say 280 SL parked on the street the other day that had what looked like a whole new interior with quilted door sills. So I was
Sick.
like, ooh, that's very well.
Yeah.
I did a quilted upholstery of my NSX.
What year NSX do you have?
92. But
Nice.
and this, I'm just going to sound like a douche because I keep saying I have so many cars. I have a Cayenne too.
Do you?
I have a 2004 Cayenne Turbo that I got for
Oh.
$6,500.
Does it work properly?
Yes, it's
Awesome.
fine.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
so you have to.
Wow.
Tim, you got to pull that picture up. This interior, dude. We're talking about the Panda because you
Whoa.
actually had a Silver Arrow SL with the Panda.
Yeah, I sold it
And
through my old dealership. Yeah.
I'd make fun of the Panda interior, but that is the ultimate Panda right there. That's fucking brutal. Wait, so you also have an 04 Cayenne Turbo.
Correct.
Does it have the notorious transmission issue? Sorry, dude.
I don't know.
Yours is good.
It's been fine for 4,000 or 5,000 miles in the last 4 or 5 months. I drive the
How many
crap out
miles
of it.
did you buy it with?
140-ish.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. There it is right there, the 04 Cayenne Turbo.
Yeah, mine has that has the wheels. It's black on black. Yeah, I came out of Florida and actually I had Tavares go pick it up for me, Freddie.
Yeah.
How we know in Florida, and
He has
shipped
been a
back
guest
home.
before.
Yeah, I towed a Jeep through the Colorado mountains with it. Took it off roading.
They're actually
Really hard.
the first gen Cayennes have the off-roading hardware on them. They're pretty good off-roading.
Yeah,
Put the
yeah.
right tires on them.
Yeah, the suspension's really adjustable. It gets
Yeah,
up high and
they took all that out for the second gen cars because nobody went off-road and they
No.
wanted to make
Yeah.
them lighter.
no, they're super heavy. It's like the same weight as an Escalade for
Yeah.
like a mid-size SUV, just because they put so much crap in it.
But my pops bought one when they were new, and I remember taking that thing out like the first day and hitting like 160 on the freeway.
So much
Like,
power
it was
back
so
then. Twin turbo
fast.
V8, right?
It
That
was,
was like
so fast.
very
Yeah.
few people had
Yeah,
that.
it's still very fast. The depreciation. Was
Yes,
just so
that's what's so
crazy.
great is
You got it for 6,500. I think you got a ton of car.
yeah.
It's a
well,
ton of car.
that's sort of my thing with, there's a lot of YouTubers, they have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that, and I think this is a lot more fun just to have a fleet. Even if I sold them all off, I know I couldn't afford one of those, but it's just a fun
Well, I'll tell you
variety.
what. Where you live and you've got a shop and a house and presumably with a nice garage. You got a lot of space in Wichita.
Yes.
Having a bunch of cars is not a burden as much out there.
What's your
tough.
plan with the Cayenne? Like just
I
drive
could
it and,
go
and do
to-
a video or two, or do you have like
Well,
you have so many things from luxury to LeBaron, and do you have like
Listen,
weird
I don't want to
ideas
hear
with
you
them?
saying these things about the fucking LeBaron. All right, LeBaron is and will always be a luxury vehicle.
The plan is usually with the cars. If I like it, it's like a long-term ownership test that you'd see in magazines, like Auto Week or whatever
Right.
it used to do. Only they're old. Look at that, jeez. That's what I need to
Tim,
do.
go
That's
back,
what I'm doing right
pull
there.
up that last one.
Yeah,
that
the orange
the real
two-tone.
pretty one.
Yep.
Not the snowdrift.
That's what I'm doing to it.
dude. Ugh. So what's the plan? Just to do your basically
So,
your own long-term testing.
If I like it, then I keep it a year. If I don't, usually 6 months. They kind of filter their way out, and I get them cheap enough to where usually when I fix the things that break and all that stuff, I sell them for what I have in it at least, or make it. I could probably get $8,000 for that thing. I would think. But so I don't lose a whole lot of money, and I get and I get videos out of it, and
You get the experiences
Yeah.
of owning them, and I mean, if you enjoy, the act of dealing with the stuff and wrenching a bit and whatever, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Do you wrench on these at all? Someone asked what the difference is between wrenching on German cars versus American.
Metric system.
Well,
Wrong wrench.
the standard wrenches really they went to metric on the American cars, whatever, after the 80s or something like that. So it's not everything's very well put together, and and easy to figure out, but there's a lot more crap in the way. You just got to take all this stuff out of the way to get to something, versus an American car is just
There's
right
the thing.
there. But then getting that one bolt that's rusted because it's an old American car, it makes you want to kill yourself. So it's a trade-off. Parts are obviously more expensive, and there's a lot more to go wrong inside of there, but they're very well built and usually well thought out. There's exceptions, of course, to everything, but
I've heard the mid-engine Porsches, like the Boxsters and Caymans, are just, if you're not prepared to drop the engine out of the bottom, like, just forget it.
right.
But I'm the wrong person to answer that. That Cayenne, though, if it's working for you, I think they were known for like turbo issues and transmission issues. But if you have one that works, you got the good one.
Yeah,
For $6,500.
Yeah.
That's that car was like 120 new.
Amazing.
That's
How hard
great.
is it to resell some of these? Like, do you notice a difference in how quickly you can sell one of your little projects afterwards?
It's been easy ever since the YouTube channel because people want it, and so I haven't
Right.
had to list a car for a while because somebody just says, "Hey, I want it." I message them back and sell it to them. Versus,
Wow.
After being in the car business for 10 years and having to hustle with Craigslist and AutoTrader and everything else, and 9 out of 10 people just totally wasting your time in the car business, it's different. I'm totally spoiled now, but.
The number of people who waste your time, both when you're buying or selling a car. Oh my God! Is it worse? Do you think when you're selling? I think it's worse when you're selling a normal car. Selling an enthusiast car, especially like Zach's got an E46 M3. You go to sell an E46 M3, the people may think they're they may be like at home mechanics or they've researched all the forums or whatever. But at least the people who are coming want an E46 M3. When I was selling my minivan, it would be like I had an Odyssey, like an '08 Odyssey, and people would be like, well, I could get a Caravan for $3,000 less. And it's like, bitch, go get a Caravan. You know what I mean? This is a Honda Odyssey. You don't understand. This is the Rolls Royce of minivans. It becomes a fucking whole big thing. I think it's harder to sell a normal car, right?
Yes, unless you're pretty much giving it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, and especially, I don't know, it seems just like the same out here in California versus Kansas. There's just so many used car dealers out there. If you can't basically get a chokehold on them while you're there, then they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's a mess. It's a tough business to be in. I've got a lot of respect for the guys that stuck it out because I didn't survive. But the main problem was this. Obviously, I'm like the drug dealer doing too much of his own stuff. I'd go to the auction, buy things. I was like, I'm going to keep that one.
Figure out what to do with that later.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I can't.
The auctions seem that looks like my exact minivan. The auctions seem like a real dangerous place to be allowed to go. I feel like if I had a big spot in the Midwest to keep a bunch of shit and an auction, a dealer license to go to I'd end up with crap. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
At VIR, there was a parking lot there with like 25 Crown Vics. I don't know why. Maybe it's their school
Probably
cars or whatever.
it's a stunt driving school or something like that.
Or
yeah.
PD school, but I just saw those and it was like, yeah, if you have space, you could have like 4 of those for you and your friends to crash into each other.
Yeah, like
You know,
remember
you could-
Pablo Escobar built himself a little
Right.
rallycross course, had some Peugeots and shit with numbers on the side of them. Like I saw Narcos, I saw that shit happen. No, it was in the book too.
or like dirt bikers, the ones that can, they'll build a track around their house and then jump their house. Like that makes perfect sense.
Brian
Deegan
Deegan
did it,
built the rally stage in his place in Temecula.
Yeah, it just makes sense,
Yeah, can we get an estate in Kansas and build a rally stage? That sounds
yeah.
like a good
yeah,
idea.
you could get a small house with 10 acres for under $200,000 easy.
10 acres
Yeah.
to me says special stage. That's doable.
Yeah.
Ryan Smanchik's house is on 6, and he remember he jumps his car at his house.
Oh yeah, we were talking about him earlier today. The Born a Car, from Drive, and he built our rally car
My
that
life
turned
is a
into a
rally
race
and
car.
stuff.
See, look at that. Go to that special stage there, Timmy. That little stadium thing. That appears to be. I'm gonna go maybe 4 or 5 acres for that. Right?
Yeah.
It's like a hole and a half of a golf course.
It's great. You can have a joker
park.
lap and a jump lap. This is just smart.
This is just smart money.
This is just smart. It's smart money. It's good for your health.
God ain't making any more of it. You know? We could buy a piece of dirt that size in Nevada for $10,000
for sure.
I could probably trade a SL 500 straight up for that plot of land in Nevada. But then everyone has to buy their own Airstream.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not dealing with that. Everyone's gonna drop their own trailer.
You need 2
just
air
invite.
conditioners per.
We could just call it like car YouTuber land, and just build it and invite all Demuro and all these people. Here's a thing. Plop down your trailer.
Do stuff
make
here.
yourself at home. Enjoy. Please don't sue me.
A big or not NDA, a big liability sheet.
But we kind of discussed this, that like the videos where I went to the track with my cars, people didn't watch it.
Nope.
So
Racetrack videos suck.
unless you're destroying the car pretty much, and
Yep.
on some kind of thing, then they're not interested.
Tell you what they'll watch though. Matt Farah jumps Fiesta over Doug Demuro's Airstream.
Yeah, they would watch that. Yeah, that's where I went. When I go to the track, I love going to the track, and with a lot of cars, I'd rather have a track video or whatever than a road video, but they don't do as well. Nope. I mean, maybe I haven't done the math on Harris's videos. Did Harris's track videos? Because he does road drives, but
A lot of his are both though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of his videos start on the road and then go to the track, so
yeah.
you can talk about
Yeah.
both things.
God, England and their fucking racetracks. It's so I'm so jealous. England has the most racetracks per square mile or whatever.
Per capita or something. They have a lot of
Is
them.
it per capita or per square mile? I think it's per square mile.
I
It
made
was
my
a
stat
size.
up, so.
You made your stat up?
Yeah.
I got mine from somewhere.
Oh, okay. Then yours is probably more accurate.
I'm jealous of their race.
One of my favorite videos of yours actually is when you went to the track with the 2 NSXs, the ones where they had two
Regan
different.
and Cooney's cars.
One somewhat
Yeah.
stock but lightly modded. The other one was
Yeah.
forced induction. And,
Yeah.
and just
Regan
comparing
had,
the two.
had a lot of work into
Mm-hmm.
that car.
Is this the supercharged one
The
or the
supercharged
geared one?
91. Yeah,
That
he
was
had a
fun.
lot of work into that car. It was a real serious car.
I drove that one. I was chasing you for a camera car, I think.
Yeah.
And he was very nice to let me do that.
that was for.
And the other
that
one
was
had
for
a
tune.
6-speed conversion with shorter gearing.
It had
right?
shorter final drive and coilovers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was actually interesting because we were at VIR. I drove the new NSX, and in the beginning of the day before I'd really done any driving, I was sort of like whining to this guy, Dan, who was the engine, who was like a chassis engineer, was like hugely involved with the car, sort of like whining that it wasn't like a little more simple like the old car. And he was like, dude, did you ever drive the old car on a racetrack? And he's like, I was like, yeah, but they were like sort of modified. He's like, you ever drive a stock one on a racetrack? I was like, no. He's like, they weren't good. He's like, they're real scary. He's like, I was part of that, that thing too. And it was real scary. He's like, this car is a racetrack car, and I learned that very quickly. But the NSXs as road cars are really nice.
Yeah.
It's 6
Well,
tenths.
I went off on the track in my NSX.
Did
just doing
you?
it once. Yep.
Did you hit anything, or
No,
just-
no. I flat spotted the tires though because
Oh,
I disabled the
bummer.
ABS on mine and I was doing a turn and then locked up the brakes because I was trying to chase down a Golf R. I'm like, I can't have a Golf beat me. I'm in an NSX. And,
Yeah.
And brake too late and just right into the grass and ended my day. But yeah, I was.
If you got out of
expecting
there
more.
with a couple front tires, you're all right. But at road speeds, the old NSXs are really really great. And
So
then
much fun.
at the track. Lee didn't particularly like the NSX at Tune, the Clarion car. He didn't like it at the limit, but I liked it on the street. And Regan's car was pretty good. I mean, both those cars were pretty good, but I don't think either of those cars had less than $30,000 in mods in them.
Yeah, they're very
they
clean,
both
well
had
done, sorted out.
And with professional track alignments and stuff, there was a lot going on in those. Both they were fun. A lot. I mean,
I drove
definitely-
because I drove what Honda's silver museum car we had.
Oh yeah, the stockity
the
stock
one, and
yeah.
the dampening on it was great. Like in the canyons, it soaks up bumps really nice. It rides well, all that stuff. But I'm sure as you start pushing it to the 8, 9, 10 tenths, that softness pronounces itself a little bit louder, and then you start to get into some weird. I don't know. Because what's his name? Regan's car, it oversteered a little because it had a supercharger on it. It was also raining a little bit, but it
was a
felt
little wet.
normal.
Yeah.
But the stock one at the limit, you obviously had your understeer moment, but
Right.
does it naturally understeer? Did it transition to oversteer? Was it just unpredictable? And which end wanted to go first?
I'm just a terrible driver. I think more than anything else, I just suck. But yeah, I just braked too late to try and because you're doing the dumb thing where you're looking at the car and not what you're doing, to try and
Yep.
catch the car and realize, oh crap, I needed to hit the brakes.
Through the car.
Exactly.
the car.
Yeah, I'm a terrible driver, but yeah, mine.
Well,
it
you
showed
got
up-
out of there cheap, and you had a learning moment, didn't you?
True.
Teachable.
We all have them.
I
We all got them.
Mine was cheap because it had jack suspension. It showed up, and of course, I buy these cars sight unseen from auctions and don't know what I'm getting. But they had broken a control arm down there and then put it back together all wrong to where it drove down the road. Just
Yikes.
it was everything that could have been wrong, short of the
so
clutch and
funny.
gearbox was
They're
gone wrong.
They're good looking though, and they're ergonomically good, and I mean it'd be a fun road trip car.
That's a good press photo as well, Timmy. Throw that one up there. That's it.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's-
Up and
That's how you know it's a press photo.
that's how you know it's a press photo because it's behind a paywall.
Old
of some
website that's
kind.
no longer needs
Yeah.
to pay its domain.
There you go. Is that kosher to just share Google results like that? Yeah, fuck it. Right? What do they think? They're paying for this show?
I think they'd be happy.
Um,
They're happy that we're not using Bing.
All right, wait. So we've got LeBaron, C36, Cayenne Turbo, NSX. That's 4.
Yeah.
Between 6 and 10 to go.
Yes.
No, S600. That's 5.
5.
Talk about your 911 because I
Old
watched
SL.
your video.
That's 6.
Mhm.
But I couldn't
911.
hear your audio in it because of the V8. So we could talk about it now.
That was I knew it was going to be really bad audio. There's nothing I could do because I was supposed to drive this car out here for Monterey Car Week. The plan was to enter it in the Works Reunion, which is like the Porsche Club official show, and put it in the outlaw class with all those fancy outlaw cars. Except mine's going to be a 996 with the ducktail and the stripes and the fake Fuchs wheels and an LS in the back. And they were all. I was just going to fill in the pile of vomits that kind of pooled around it. And it didn't
Good
get done in
idea,
time. I got to drive it right before I left, and there's no exhaust yet. It was just open headers, and it just sounded dumb.
It sounded rad, but I understand it also.
I
dumb
understand
loud.
the open headers is it's a good idea when you're 16.
It's fun for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's
It
not a
really
good
is.
idea. I mean, now with an LS, it's just not.
Yeah. The theme of the video was I posed the question to the YouTube commenters, which is always a mistake.
Oh,
Was it a
What
mistake
they think
for
really counts.
Was it a mistake for me to do this? And they, of course,
Half said yes, half said no, probably.
well, they all said I'm stupid and yes and no. I mean, that's
No, I
just
think it looked so fun. It sounded
A
good.
third
Who
of them
cares?
made Doug Demuro jokes.
right.
And
I mean, it
that
makes
yellow.
sense, and it looked like you were having a blast driving it around. It was just so damn loud. I was like, I have no idea what he's saying about this car right now.
so wait, what didn't get finished in time to drive it? Because you drove it before you left. but it
Well,
was just-
the big part was figuring out the cooling system, how it was going to work, and my mechanic, who's I've been helping him as much as I can, to the point where when you get to the stuff with the wiring and things where I know nothing about, if I tried wiring, I'd burn the car down. So he's doing this, and he was trying to figure it out, and he wasted a weekend trying to burp it, and it was actually bad directions from the conversion kit company that provided this that screwed us. And he just called me up and said, look, this is just too much. The car's barely going to be done, and then you're going to drive across country. You're nuts. And so, just relax.
if you
it's
got
fine.
shit to do,
Yeah.
don't roll the dice. Unless,
Yeah.
I understand. It'll be there. It'll be there when you return.
Yeah.
Timmy's just looking at pictures of fucking 996s.
Yeah, turbo car. if you
they look
Google
fun.
Apollo 911, because that's the car's name, see that one's mine. But if you Google Apollo 911, then all the
Top left.
top left, and then that's when I took it on the dyno when I first got it.
Yeah, with like 250K or
Wow.
something on
Yeah,
it, right?
243, and
How much was that thing for 243K?
9,000.
That's not bad.
Hey, it's fine. Everyone said I overpaid because you can get nice ones for 15, but
I mean, whatever, dude. They can fucking put up their cash.
Were you planning to swap it so you didn't care about the
No,
engine?
it drove great, and actually, it was so much nicer than I thought. And taking it to the track is what killed it, which would kill a 996 with 50,000 miles, because they actually have problems with the engine oil overheating and then losing oil pressure, and that's what killed it. But I sort of became the evangelist for the 996. Everyone was like, look at this guy's 996. It has 250,000 miles on it. It's all original. It still gets the same dyno numbers it did new, same quarter mile times. This guy's incredible. And then I go and blow it up. And then I decide to swap an LS in it. Yeah, and so that whole Porsche group that was all behind me, where I'm getting shared on their forums and on their newsletters and in in Excellence magazine, real top shelf Porsche magazine, and now I'm LS swapping it. And they're
Wow,
all
you
just-
told them Santa wasn't real, and you were converting to Islam in like basically one
That's
breath.
fucking hilarious. But if isn't one of the
Doug.
isn't one of the better ways to ensure that you don't have an IMS issue is to buy a car with a bunch of miles on it? It's one of the ways, right? Cars that don't get driven have that issue.
Well,
more
we can
problem
talk
than
to
cars that get
Patrick,
driven.
but I mean, he bought his Porsche with 150,000 miles on it, changed the IMS, and he
And
still
then-
popped the motor.
Yeah.
Something else went wrong. So
Mine was done twice, each time with the clutch.
Yours was done twice.
Correct. Motor still popped. Yeah.
something else failed. It's a
Yeah.
complicated thing.
Mhm.
That's
that
funny.
sucks.
I mean, it's terrible, but LS. So which LS is it?
LS2.
So that's the 385 horsepower?
400.
400, 405.
Yeah.
Is it 04, 06? Is that what that is?
No, it came from the C6, the like 05 or 06.
05, 06 base Corvette.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So the 400 horsepower.
And you
one.
want the aluminum ones because, there I am. You want the aluminum ones because of the weight.
Right.
But still, the center of gravity has to be higher, just because it's a V rather than a flat. So that snap oversteer Widowmaker thing's probably going to be a little bit more of a problem. But I don't think I'll be tracking. I got to get to know the car first. But
people who drive these converted cars a lot say that it's not that bad. The weight distribution. They say it's not that different.
yeah,
I don't know. I drove the Cayman that had the fucking Mustang motor in it, and it was nuts. I wouldn't say it was any less stable or anything. I mean, granted, yeah, the engine was in the middle, not in the back, but I didn't think it was any less stable than the car originally was.
Yeah, that one picture there, that's one of my favorites because it's the first video I brought in my mechanic. I call him the car wizard, and he didn't know about cameras or anything, so I'm talking the whole time, and he's just giving a death stare into the camera, just staring at it for a minute long.
The
Just
old, what
won't-
do I do here?
Won't
Yeah.
blink, just wouldn't move. And I'm just dying the
Like,
whole
when are
time.
you taking the picture? Like
Yeah.
this video. Oh. Just. Yep.
That's
It sounds
awesome.
fun. It looked like you're having a good time driving it, and open header for 10 minutes. Great idea.
You run the standard
11's
gearbox?
hard.
I guess.
Yes. The conversion kit has an adapter plate. It actually has a Ford clutch, an adapter plate, and then it has a new, looks like a big metal bat wing for the motor to mount. And the thing, it's the motor mounts are about even with the tail lights, and it bolts to the head. So the car is literally just hanging from its neck in the car.
It bolts to the head?
Yes,
That's the
head's-
engine mount?
Weird.
Yes, it didn't seem natural, but I guess it's
Okay.
that's
All
that's
right.
how they do
Well, it's
it.
a new frontier a bit, with these V8 swaps for 911s and Caymans and stuff. Hey, we hadn't really heard about it. I heard about a guy doing it 4 years ago in the Middle East somewhere, but he seemed like, I'm going to give this a shot. And now it seems like there's a couple companies that are building these kits and cradles and things.
Yeah, I've heard of 3 different companies that are doing it.
Renegade Hybrids is who I have,
Yeah.
and they've been doing it forever. They did the 944 LT1 swaps back in the day and all that. They're real
I saw
popular.
an 80s Jeep, an 80s at Cars and Coffee back in the day with like an old school like chrome 350, in there.
Old
Like,
hot rod 350
Yeah,
that they bought outside like
I just bought
Hot
it on
August
Jag,
Nights.
just part number on Jegs,
everything polished,
Yeah, everything. All mirrors.
all bags on.
Well, that'll be cool when it's done.
Yeah, it's getting there. It'll
Yeah.
be a few weeks.
Sweet.
It's all figured out. Just gonna pipe the exhaust, air conditioning going. It's gonna have all the gauges working. It'll be like a normal car. I've got the sales manager at Porsche in Wichita. I think she's on board to take it to this old school Porsche mechanic they have in there that doesn't watch any YouTube or anything, and just pull into the service lane and say I have a weird engine noise in my Porsche. Can he look at it and just see how he reacts?
He'll open it. He'll look in the bottom and then start laughing. I think.
Right.
So that's 6 cars, 7.
That's 7.
What are we at in your tally here?
That's 7.
Okay.
Okay. What else? What
Uh,
else is in the pile?
I have an XJ Jeep I got for $300. 98 Jeep Cherokee.
Okay.
It's 360,000 miles, and it just took a starter to get it running again.
Whoa.
If it runs at all, that's $300 well spent.
No rust. It's
That's
actually
fantastic.
super clean. The interior's clean. You would think. I could tell you had 65,000 miles on it. You'd probably believe me. It was just another
Maybe it's one of
impulse.
those rare roll ups where they roll the odometer forwards.
Right.
Man, I would love to have an old Cherokee like that, especially if you can get them, we got one for $2,000 and it broke, but that's because it was modified.
I think everyone in high school had a friend with one.
Yeah.
And you always ended up doing stupid shit in it.
Yep.
My friend Brandon had one of these, and boy, did we try. He had 2 of them, and boy, did we try to kill both. You know, they both were airborne at various points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, that one, Timmy, that white one is
That's
nice.
awesome.
I like that. That
Yeah.
looks good.
That's
Are they doing, is someone doing like backdate kits for those yet? They should be doing those soon.
Would drop in engine swaps for that, or
No, like the visual backdate kits. You get like the later one and make it look like the older one.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like,
like they do with a Camaro Firebird type thing.
yeah, singerizing the shit.
That'd be terrible. Yeah, my friend had the like 98 V8 limited Jeep, I think, that had a posi in the back. And I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, posi. And I learned what oversteer in the rain was while I was facing a guardrail. And we came to a stop, and I was like, all right, we're done for tonight. Let's go home. Just step
There's
right
the
out.
24 Hours of Lemons Jeep race car.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a postal Jeep? It
Wow.
It is. I think it's some kind of postal theme.
kinda- yeah.
But that is an actual Jeep race car. It does run a 4-liter Jeep motor as
Not
well.
slow. it looks
Manual
like.
transmission.
Did we
I
see
believe it
that-
is slow.
Did we see that run at Sonoma before it was like graphicked up? I feel like we did.
Yeah, scroll down, Timmy, on this page. There's a picture of it. It's blue, where it's just there. It is on the racetrack, just as blue. Oh, it's a different one. It's another Jeep. That's a 4-door. The other one was a 2-door.
That one's owned by children.
Different Jeep. Nice wing though.
What an interesting idea.
$300 for one of those. If it works, golden.
That is the poorest man's Cayenne.
Zach
turbo.
spent $1,800 on one of those, I think, and it only lasted 24 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Because it was modified by
Idiots.
an idiot. Yeah.
Oh, look at Timmy. That Jag on the top left. Sorry, we're just looking at Google results. Did you see that Jaguar
The
race car?
XJR?
That was the shit. Yeah.
Oh,
There it is, up top. Oh, who doesn't want something like that? Leyland.
Leyland. That looks like Goodwood Festival of Speed.
It looks like someone put a Jaguar nose on a BMW CSL Batmobile.
Remember Optima streetcar like 2011? And there
Yeah.
was a, quote, Volvo there. That was a tube frame.
Yeah, it was like a NASCAR Volvo
Yeah, it was like a
tube
NASCAR
frame.
Volvo with like plastic windows and plastic body panels, and then it just had like a little Volvo square in the front. You're like, yeah, sure, okay, that's fair.
Like at Grid Life, we got the video coming out soon. I drove a 58, 62 Volvo Amazon, a 122 Amazon track build
It's cool.
with a 4G63 motor swap and Ford T5 gearbox and weird as shit.
It's cool looking.
Really cool.
Everybody loved that. That was like
Really
a crowd
cool.
favorite
Really
car.
weird. Yeah, it was super neat. So we got a $300 Jeep. Continue. What else? What else is in the field?
The 93 Lincoln Town Car Jack Nicklaus edition.
Are the door locks golf tees? Gotta be, right?
The
What
carpet
made-
is green.
What made? Is it like green like the Masters?
Correct.
What color is it?
White. So mine's white, but it's
Oh,
it's
is that
the
it right there?
They have the Golden Bear logos that you'd see on the country clubbers,
Goddamn,
on the sides and on the
co-branded
dash.
American shit is the best.
Oh,
Does the floor mats in the back have a hole and you can putt while you drive down the road?
I tried. That's what was the video. I tried to do chipping inside the car, and then I actually teed off the roof of the thing and kind of fell off the back.
Dude, the Jack Nicklaus edition is sick.
Green carpets, white
Terrible.
seats like a golf glove, and then
Do you think it was actual golf glove leather? I
With
think
the
there was
same
a
color, for sure.
co-branded. Yeah,
I think
definitely.
very thin leather, but be comfortable for
the
a bit.
Golden Bear.
it looks like a golf glove, and then all the digital 80s, early 90s gauge cluster stuff, and a weird special burlwood for the Jack Nicklaus edition, and it's a goofy thing. It was another, like you talked about going to auctions, like how dangerous it is. That's the Jeep. That it's just like
No,
that
that's
Lincoln
my
looks weird. Let me go walk up and look at it.
That's a Jack Nicklaus edition. My mom had a Nautica edition, Mercury Villager. Do you remember that one? Oh my God! Wait till you see it. You want to talk about? It looks like a fucking capsized yacht. Timmy, pull up. It looks like a yacht that already is upside down. Nautica edition, Mercury Villager. This is some fucking brutal cross marketing.
Wow.
Wait, where? Okay, right, second
Center
row, all
buoy.
the way on the right. Yeah. That look at the wheels on that,
Look at
my
that
friend.
two-tone.
That
Look
is
at that two-tone.
white
Jeez.
bumpers. And it looks like a yacht that flipped over.
Very unattractive.
But you got to find the interior. Get the interior is really where the co-branding was
Have
very
they stopped
successful.
doing that? Like, remember the Eddie Bauer Explorer? You have the
Eddie
Nautica.
Bauer.
Like, are they done with those kind of?
No, dude, there was a John Varvatos Chrysler 300 like 2 years
don't
ago.
even
There,
know
look
who-
at that interior, bro.
I don't know who John Barbados is.
God.
That's not good.
Steinman wears all John Varvatos.
Okay.
it's like a regular sweater that would be, $75 or $80 at like an Abercrombie, will be $700 at a John Varvatos.
Worth it, I'm sure.
So there was that. There's been a couple other co-brands like
Bill Blass is one I
there's
like.
a Bill Blass. Yeah.
They have a really nautical Bill Blass Lincoln Continental that is ridiculous. If you're talking nautical
There was the
thing.
Coach. Remember the Coach Lexuses?
Yeah.
The Coach editions.
Gucci Fiat 500. Remember
Oh
that?
my God, the Gucci.
Gucci Fiat.
One of our friends back in the day was hooking up with this girl who drove the Gucci Fiat 500. It was such a shitbox. It was so embarrassing. And wasn't her license plate like Gucci Girl or some shit like that too?
I don't know, but it's like
She had
that's
some-
like going to the Gucci store and you buy a Gucci
Top-
gum
yeah,
holder
right
'cause you
up,
can't
upper
afford
right,
the whole
the
thing.
white one, Timmy. That one, yeah, that's the shit. That's like her, but that's not what that girl looked like at all. Is that Pamela Anderson?
No.
From over here, it looks kind of like a young Pamela Anderson, but it's not.
Oh, but young Pamela Anderson didn't exist when this car came out.
Who is that, Timmy?
Natasha Pauly, I guess.
Natasha Pauly. Well,
No idea.
She is hot, and that car is terrible. I think that girl had the convertible too.
She did.
The Gucci.
It was like a brown Gucci
It's like a
top.
$42,000 Fiat 500.
Cross
Those
branding.
things appreciated so hard. I
Oh.
picked up a couple of Abarths, super cheap, and they're fun when they're around 10 grand.
Yeah, for $10,000.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Not-
Get a 6-pack of them shits.
Right, but not whatever they were new, close
No,
to 20s.
the press car we had was 27 and change. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But as a $10,000 car, hell yeah.
There was a guy at Grid Life who had a Abarth track car. And I was like, hey, this
Oh.
thing must be fun. He's like, yeah, when it works. And he was like airing down the tires. I mean, he had stripped out. The body panels were banged up a bit. Like,
Yeah, do you remember the other thing about that car is that it was covered in like that halon shit? Like the residue when you pull the fire suppression, like his whole car was basically covered.
I did not.
I'm not saying he had a fire that day, but I'm saying he's had fires. And he's only kind of cleaned them.
Oh, my God. Not a fan of that car.
No. No, but for 10 G's, yeah. Let's round out what else you got in the fleet before we go to break. What else we got here?
Oh, nothing.
Have we actually gotten to the end?
No, it goes. It's bad. I mean, there's like a Prius in there for $1,000 I got with a bad hybrid battery that I'm going to be fixing because it's really not a big deal to fix the Priuses with a bad hybrid batteries. And just other weird stuff that I haven't put on video yet, so I don't really want to.
Don't give it away.
I know. No, yeah, I know.
You
But,
can tease it. Teasing it's good.
Yeah, I got a Lexus LX470, the Lexus SUV.
Those are good. Yeah.
It's a 99 with 350,000 miles. It was
Wow.
the
Jesus.
cheapest one in the country. It was $2,000.
Does
Wow.
it work?
Yes, runs, drives, works. It's fine.
Here's what you do with one of those. Is it like that?
Yeah,
So it's like a Land Cruiser, basically.
correct.
What you do is you get the Arctic Trucks body kit from Iceland.
And lift kit. And
I was looking
cut the
at it.
fenders
Yeah,
out.
Timmy, you know what series Land Cruiser is that? You know, Land
100
Cruiser.
series.
100.
So pull up the Arctic Trucks 100 series Land Cruiser body kits. This is what Timmy would do with his spare time anyway. He's a Toyota SUV enthusiast.
But it's kind of crazy because I thought, okay, the hydraulic suspension at 350,000 miles is going to be done, and it works. It all still works. So it's kind of like a shame
So-
to.
A mild. That's a 200.
No, you don't want that. We want the proper build. You got to get the kit from Iceland because these cars they're the most badass trucks. They're what the Top Gear guys drove to the North Pole,
Right.
With the big balloony tires to drive across glaciers.
Yeah, there's the Top Gear. So I think right there at the glacier.
36s and 42s.
Yeah, that'll do. Pull up that picture. That's close enough.
It's not
That's a
very good, but
Hilux.
Yeah.
Well, the people can use their imaginations for the rest of it. That's the idea. But you get that kit because you've already got a fucking old beat Land Cruiser basically,
Right.
and make it a beast.
You have a couple vehicles I feel like that are cheap enough and good enough. To me, they'd be like keep forever vehicles. Like if you built that LX and if you wanted a lifted truck of any kind, like that seems like the one you could do it in, and it should last a really, really long time.
Yeah.
And your ownership or your entry is real cheap.
Yes, it does need some cleanup, but one of the weirdest things about it is they, rather than fix the rear hatch that broke, they decided to cut a hole in it so that they could reach the latch inside, and then it turned into a rust hole that
All right,
expanded.
maybe you commit to a different car.
But no, that's the only rust in the car. I mean, the thing is savable. That's the thing. And
You get a new hatch.
if I can go through and save this thing and bring it back to how it looked new, which it can really get there for probably just a few grand, and then I'm in it for basically probably what it's worth or a little less, and then I've won. I feel like I've won, and I could show the internet I've won through the whole time. They're saying you're such a fucking idiot the whole time, and then I can.
Tyler versus the Rust. That's the name of the show.
I do lose a lot though.
The Prius. If you find a crashed Prius that has a used Prius but has a good battery, just parts pull, right?
Yeah, and the reconditioned batteries aren't too bad either. They, because it's really a simple battery setup where they have a bunch of little individual cells that look like little laptops, and a company, they'll rebuild them. They'll take out the bad cells, put in good ones, balance them, clean up the terminals, warranty it for 3 years,
Wow.
good to go.
And then you just drop it back in and plug it in.
Boom.
How
That's
much
it?
does it cost for one of those?
With the 3-year warranty, like $1,000.
Oh,
That's
really?
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that seems reasonable.
That
Yeah.
seems very reasonable. There you go.
Electricity scares me. I don't know about you. Look at that. That is a beautiful Arctic Trucks. Pull that one up, Timmy. That's a 200, right? That's the new series. Yeah, it's dope though. But you get the idea. Electricity scares me. I wouldn't know if I don't know. I'd be afraid to handle
That's
that.
why you have
kinda-
the shop do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, those batteries. My brother had to replace the battery in his Civic Hybrid a couple years ago, and it was like $4,000. So it's come down a lot. There's,
That's what he gets for buying a Civic Hybrid.
He's
Terrible
done a lot of things that are questionable. I mean, he crashed his E30 3 times. He rear-ended someone 3 different times. Not the same person, but he rear-ended other cars 3 times in his E30 ownership, which was 5 years.
Is he texting?
No, this was before that. He doesn't even like using smartphones. He's just a bad
He
driver.
was meditating.
And the family, yes, and the family now all agrees. They go, let Zach drive. Gabe's not very good. He's
him
a doctor.
Give
He's
him
a
an
doctor.
Uber account and
Give him a scalpel, he's fine. But ask him to drive a car. He's like, whoa, wait, what do all these buttons do?
Yeah, rounding it out, I have a 2003 Mustang Mach 1 that I'm selling. Has 173,000 miles on it. It was I don't know, something like around $4,000 or something like that. Really good deal for a Mach 1.
Not bad
but
for a Mach 1.
But it's miley, and it's pretty nice. So I'm getting ready to sell that. And then the other one I'm getting ready to sell is the 1991 Dodge Caravan wood paneling with all-wheel drive. First year of offered
Oh,
all-wheel
boy.
drive, and I
Thank
actually
God.
put BFG off-roads on it and tried to do some four-wheeling in it, and it didn't work.
Does it look like that one? That's
Yeah,
God,
that's
is that
the early one.
What a fucking sad looking vehicle. I mean, I realize that vehicle changed the automotive landscape forever.
Look at the tilted front
But
headlight.
what a sad looking. You really? How often do you see one of those? Fucking never.
And mine has 51,000 original miles.
Really?
On it. Little old man quit driving kind of thing. It's beautiful.
You've got a nice one.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
that is
so
not it.
It's so silly. Yeah, it looks like the one on the top left because they updated it.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
the facelift.
Facelift.
Facelift is much better.
First year facelift. First year all-wheel drive.
That car-
Everybody who I went to high school with in middle school, their parents all had those.
All of those?
Yeah.
That car's begging for a Field and Stream edition where you do like scroll work on the wood where it's like a fishing scene or like, deer and stuff like that.
We can get Orvis on that.
Yes.
The wood paneling, that really makes that shit. Really does. I like the good Timmy. Pull up that white one. That's really the one that I have the fondest memory of. Is the white.
Contrast
That
is
is
amazing.
hideous.
That was coming out of like, I think it was before our time, the trend of late 70s and 80s of putting wood paneling over normal drywall. Like Adam Ferrara has jokes about this, about Italian families in the 70s, just like everything's got about paneling.
Yeah.
And it was just like this weird, we got enough money for paneling, a strange display of
I feel like Dennis
faux
Leary had a
luxury.
joke about that
You
too.
they were same age growing
Yeah.
up in the same coast.
Yeah.
Italian Irish.
Fuck. All right. Well, we can definitely end on town and countries. We gotta take a break and sell a little bit of real estate. We will be back with with more with Tyler. Thanks.
This episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Driveline. Driveline is the world's first social driving app and comes exclusively to the iPhone and App Store. Discover the pleasure of driving not to get somewhere, but simply to be on the road. Whether you are a long-time driving enthusiast or just someone who wants to discover why driving can be fun, this is the app for you. Driveline allows you to map your favorite driving roads and classify them based on style, whether it be hill climb, cruising, B roads, loose surface, or trails, while capturing basic metrics and driving data. With Driveline, you can use your iPhone's camera to capture video of your drive, or use an external camera or maybe even a drone. Post these videos to the feed so everyone can see exactly why your time behind the wheel matters, or keep them for yourself in your library. Share your cars, track your drives, and earn points towards contests and giveaways from the team at Driveline Entertainment, LLC. Search, are you new to an area or just looking for new roads to travel? Driveline lets you search for roads in any given area by radius and style. Review the maps, videos, comments, likes, and the point scores of the creator. Looking for a loose surface rally-style drive? There may be something closer than you think. Driveline is exclusively in the iOS App Store. Go search today. And the Smoking Tire Podcast is, of course, brought to you by Harry's. I'm going to Europe tomorrow morning, and I am stocking up on my Harry's products. I'm ready to go, son. You don't understand. I got this thing. Each little 4-blade set comes its own little unique travel box. So I can just throw one of those in there, and I know I got 4 blades for the road. I got my soft grip handle, and I got my travel-ready shaving cream and moisturizer, which are, there's no aerosol in them, so I can travel with that stuff nice and easy. Harry's, these blades are excellent. I've been using exclusively Harry's razors for the past, 2 years now, and my skin looks good, my face is smooth, my head is smooth, and you know what? I have spent a whole lot less money on razors than if I was going to the drugstore. They do this stuff. It's the same blades you're buying at the drugstore. They make them themselves, but the same quality blades, and it's basically half the price. I got a year worth of blades for $60. That's unbelievable, and that's because they cut out the middleman and they go straight to you on the internet. Here's what I got for you. Free trial offer from Harry's today. It's a $13 value for free when you sign up for one of Harry's plans. All you have to do is cover shipping. Go sign up at harrys.com and get your free trial set, including a weighted ergonomic razor handle, 5 precision-engineered blades with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel, and a travel blade cover. Just pay $3 for shipping and handling. Get your free trial set now at harrys.com/Tire1. Harrys.com/ Oh, not Tire 1. That's a misprint. Someone misprinted my copy. As always, it's just harrys.com/tire. Someone misprinted my ad copy. How about that? Whoa, harrys.com/tire. And of course, you know them really cool glasses you always see me wearing? They are really cool, aren't they? And the reason they're so cool is because they are Dylan Optics, the official eyewear of the Smoking Tire, made in Scottsdale, Arizona, with the frames produced in Italy. The glass is money. There's an extra layer of polarization in there, and what that does is it saves your eyes. I don't know what it does, really. All I know is when I wear Dylan Optics and then I go back to some cheapo sunglasses, if I ever have the occasion to wear those, my eyes are hurting at the end of the day. And with Dylan's, they don't. I'm not saying there's a medical thing behind that. I'm just saying personal experience. I need to wear Dylan's when I'm out in the desert working because otherwise my eyes hurt at the end of the day. And if you go to thesmokingtire.com and you click on the Partners tab, there's a little Dylan banner on there. You click that when you can just go poke around. They got a bunch of different frame styles, get different colored lenses, and you can mix and match your own custom lens and frame combo. And if you use my link, I will give you a free Smoking Tire t-shirt, a $25 value, just for using my link when you buy the glasses. Last but not least, Xbox One, Forza Motorsport 7 is the official racing simulator of the Smoking Tire. we're here. We are here. It's coming out, and get this: 700 cars, 30 racetracks, night, rain. The rain you almost feel wet. You need someone there like misting your face as you drive it, because it feels as close to wet driving as I've ever really seen without getting wet. It's ridiculous. I race semi-trucks at Mugello, which you can do. The new GT2 RS is in the game. In fact, it is the largest collection of Porsche, Lamborghini, and Ferrari in any racing franchise. Hit us up at TST Racing if you play on Xbox Live, and learn more or pre-order or order Forza Motorsport 7 now, xbox.com/Forza and ForzaMotorsport.net. Forza Motorsport and the Forza franchise is the official racing simulator of the Smoke and Tire podcast.
Okay, we back. What do you want to plug? Tyler Hoover. Plug it all.
Great. Okay, I have my YouTube channel called Hoovie's Garage. I also write columns and host my videos on autotrader.com/oversteer with Doug Demuro and some other guys, and we have a great time over there.
And that's the plugs? YouTube,
That's the plugs.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, Twitter, Hoovie's Garage. I got
Hoovie's
Facebook
Garage,
as well.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Just Google
it. The story of your current career, which is short but incredibly successful since March. You told me that a year ago you had 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
No, it was March when I had it.
March of this year.
Yeah.
Of 2017, you had 1,000.
Yep.
And now you have 130,000.
About to go 130, or it may have gone over 130. Yeah.
That is that's pretty remarkable.
It's nuts. Yeah, and before that it was just pretty much out of nowhere.
And because of this oversteer thing, which is a good gig,
it is.
That's that seems to be the gig to have right now. Demuro is certainly taking advantage of it. And at lunch, you credited him with your career, which is nice of you. I'm sure he appreciates that.
Well, it's a fact. If he didn't create oversteer and the means for this to happen, and as well as promoting my channel and my videos and my articles, this never would have happened. So it's totally a credit to him.
It seems to be a good example of like, be ready when someone is there to look at something. You know what I mean? It's sort of like the just like do by doing.
Right.
People will see you. Because basically, you said you got noticed by dressing up as a Jeremy Clarkson character at the Grand Tour and getting Jeremy Clarkson to tweet picture of you.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to get my foot in the door for a while with Jalopnik, with anybody, but I mean, I would get nice emails back, but I'd never written anything. There was nothing published, no history. Why would anybody take a shot on somebody who has no written work? I mean, most people can't put 3 words together, and really, I hadn't
Usually
done
you have
it.
to do some writing.
Usually, exactly. So I'm keep emailing. They keep sending polite messages back. And then I go to the TV show taping. Totally by accident, a friend gets an extra ticket. I dress up, meet Clarkson. We have a nice conversation. He replies to my tweet when I thank him for the show taping and everything. It wasn't the show taping, but it was that crazy opening sequence of the first episode where they spent like $3 million to have all these cars coming off the desert. It was a crazy shoot, but I didn't get to actually see the episode. And I finally sent that off and got my foot in the door. I got to write an article on that, and that led to more and more and more. And eventually I begged my way. I had to beg and beg my way onto oversteer with Demuro, and got that going. And then it just kept going and going, just nowhere. Started with oversteer in November with nothing, no experience, none of this. 5 years ago, I was trying to do this, and I'd actually given up. I only had a couple of cars, including a Prius. I was focusing on my day job, and it was the dream was over for me. And then it just all circled back. It's
crazy.
It's nuts.
Whoa.
That's some
Good
right
for you,
place, right time stuff. But you also have to have the hustle. You know what I mean? If you're willing to like work for free, and someone says yes, a lot of people offer to work for us for free, and I say no because I don't know what to do with it. But if someone has a need and you fill that need, are ready to fill that need at the exact right time, and can pester them enough for more.
That's the thing. I look back on it now and think, God, I was such a pain in the ass. Like, why did he bother? I mean, I'm like writing these 5-paragraph things talking about how great he is. I'm sure he reads this crap all the time. It's just like, oh God, shut up. But he's such a nice guy. He took the time to reply. and then was like, just let me show you what I can do. And then I gave him 3 ideas, and I said, pick one. And he picked the one I had at the time. I had a 1978 Lincoln Continental Town Coupe, and he wanted me to make a video review on that. And I did, and he liked it. I wrote an article. He liked it, and it just kept going from, okay, do something once a week to do something twice a week. And then I had we talked about the S600. That was the video that went viral. It now has almost 3 million views or something like that, which is nuts. And then that's when things really started taking off for me. And then the hoopty fleet expanded to the stupid levels that it is now. And
be careful, save your money.
Oh, I know. Well, I try and keep it all because I kept the day job. So the cars and that is separate. My living expenses are paid for my normal job with restaurants. I help open restaurants with my father, and then the car thing, I try and keep it separate. But it's definitely starting to get to where the YouTube's making sense for the cars, but it never has. But I'm trying to get to that point.
You can get there for a while, but it's easy to it's easy to fall down a rabbit hole, for sure.
Lease a Ferrari, and then YouTube changes their ad revenue structure.
Oh,
I think there's other fucking channels already doing that shit.
I'd never get into something that I couldn't get out of. As far as like a new car, or nearly new, all this stuff. If the crap really hit the fan, then I could unload it pretty quick and survive. So
we're just fucking around. That's a crazy story, though. I mean, getting 130,000 subscribers in 6 months.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and
crazy.
I'm just a big fan of all you guys. Like I talked about where I first found you was on that Speed Channel show.
Yeah, that's amazing. They're one of 6 people.
I love that show. I love
making it. Zach
Yeah.
worked on it too. Zach came up with a bunch of the ideas for bits and some of the best stuff that. God, I'd love to have the fucking outtakes and the moments that got cut from that show. If I could have the moments that were cut from that show by itself, it would make a great show.
We did some funny stuff, some fun stuff.
TV is a fun business when you can get it.
Cruel mistress.
It is a cruel mistress. The freedom of the internet. We can launch it on the podcast here. Hold it up to the camera. Our new Can't Get Fired Productions T-shirt. That's coming out. We can just sell it right here. We don't even need to break for real estate. Boom.
I think that came out when we started doing Tuned. It was like, should we shoot at this car and do this thing? And it's like, can't get fired.
Yeah, we literally
we're 4 or 5 people in a house, and we're like, you're in charge, and
and only barely.
Right. That was the joke.
Yeah, for like 4 years, like all of us lived in a house. It could have been a reality show, honestly, and made this show, and like they had this money to spend, and they couldn't fire us. They needed
the vice
shit.
president's riding his bicycle around the kitchen island.
Yeah,
while we're talking about ideas.
Drunk.
Just can't get fired production.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I got to have lunch with you today. I got to do a one take.
The meats were good.
All this stuff a year ago. I mean, I'm just like watching this stuff on YouTube and on the toilet, just like, ooh, wow, this is really.
Oh, are you a
interesting.
morning shit viewer? I'm glad to have the morning shit viewers. They really keep the view counts high in the morning. They get the video bumped up all the lists.
You keep me regular, sir.
That's-
Thank you. Yeah.
Man, if you're
Mr. Regular just got so hard.
if you are if you're on the East Coast and you are a morning dump watcher, boy, do you keep this train rolling. That's
What
funny.
have you sold any cars you regret selling?
Oh, tons. We were talking about that because I got to ride in Matt's new Mercedes. There's a Silver Arrow 2002 SL that I had go through my dealership that I just sold for a quick, whatever, made $1,000 on it for $14,000. But the Silver Arrow was the special edition that they made right before that body style ended in 2002, and it's a really neat engine turned binnacle finish in the dashboard and the two-tone interior and the Silver Arrow metallic paint. Panda.
The two-tone steering wheel's not great, but
Zach and I think are anti-Panda.
Really?
I don't like two-tone steering wheels. Aren't really my thing, but
His C36 has a weird two-tone steering wheel because only the bottom is the other tone.
even better.
It's like
That's
a
great.
3/4 with
Why
one
not?
quarter.
Why
There's
not?
no top. It's a very straight.
It almost looks like they ran out of leather and they went.
Actually,
oh.
do you think did it originally have the top one too, and someone had it retrimmed?
No.
Was it the original? It
That's
came
original.
like that?
I've had some before that same way. Yeah.
With just the bottom was
Yeah.
the thing? Oh, okay.
It's like your cruising hand goes here. You can just drive one-handed on the bottom.
The Silver Arrow had the top also, though, right? They
Right.
didn't skimp out on that one. They went
Lay the wrist
they did
over.
the top out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also a lot of air-cooled Porsches back then that, of course, that's just blown up now, whereas, it's like buying driving like a 66 912 for $6,000 that was a nice driver, and it's just like, that sounds like a normal. Now it's all
Well,
just stupid.
You were in Monterey. You
Yes.
just got back from Monterey, which we didn't even talk about. We should talk about Monterey because you've been a bunch. It's not your first time, right?
This is my second time. Like, once again, 5 years ago is when I went, and that's like the week before. That's when my girlfriend told me. I think my girlfriend at the time told me that she was pregnant, and that's was sort of like, okay, I need to get serious and kind of give up on all this crap. So that was kind of the
Monterey.
swan song. Monterey, bye. And I actually drove back in my buddy's LS400, not Matt's
Good
million-mile
car.
Lexus, but
you can take it anytime you want.
yeah, I told my parents when they were in Colorado, they were really drunk. I was like, hey, I knocked up the girlfriend, and then made my way back, and life just happened, and now this is just coming back. She's in school now, and everything's kind of settled down to where I could go back to doing what I love more, and it's been great. So.
But isn't it crazy? Just the level of cars you see up there, pregnant girlfriends aside.
Sorry, yeah, that was a weird aside.
Weird.
I'm so sorry about to go there.
It's all right. Left
That's
turns.
a little too personal.
No, it's
No,
not
it's
too
very-
personal.
Very what the fuck with Mark Maron.
It was yeah. We went that way, but then I did.
I've been there, man. I got a couple of girls.
Yeah.
I know how it is.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about Monterey Car Week, and yeah, it is crazy just to get just the parking lots for the show. That was sort of my theme of this. What I was making a video about was how to do Monterey on a budget, and I actually stayed in a garden shed. It was the cheapest bed in town on Airbnb for $45 a night. Somebody put a twin mattress in a garden shed, and I stayed in there.
Was the ground made of dirt?
No, it had a wood floor.
A floor.
It had
Okay.
a wood floor.
You can camp near there for $5 a night. I'll tell you what.
Zach
it's
went
sleeping in
camping
dirt.
in Monterey out
At
of
Laguna?
a Cobra.
Yeah, me and Thaddeus went. Well, no, not Laguna. That was booked, and we had this idea 2 days beforehand. So we drove to Big Sur and just found the nearest campsite that had an opening and slept on the ground, and then pissed off everyone who was staying there at 5 a.m. when we drove back up to Pebble for the morning show. So
Wow.
it was the Cobra with basically open header, just firing up at 5 a.m. running too rich and just it was great,
So it was perfect. Perfect experience.
excellent.
But you did garden shed, also potentially a perfect experience.
It was great. Yeah, right in the middle of anything Monterey, and just going to all the cheaper stuff and the free stuff, and no matter what kind of cars you're into, there's something going on in Cannery Row or Pacific Grove or Monterey where you can find something to do for the whole week, or just people watching car watch, just sit somewhere and watch the cars drive by. It's just nuts.
Yeah, there you can get 90% of the Pebble Beach experience by just being around Monterey and not really spending a dime.
Yeah.
I mean, you maybe like a little time. That is fucking sick, Timmy. Pull that up. That's from this year, I think. That roof. Oh, that's fire.
I like those wheels.
That's
I like
like
them a lot.
the Callaway Corvette body kit applied to a 911, right? That front bumper is very Callaway
The side
sledgehammer.
vents, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you could just the parking lots. Just
that the
parking
Quail
lot of
there?
the Quail, or that is.
I think it's the Quail in the background.
Golf
What's it say?
links, something.
Oh, no.
That's Pebble Beach.
Pebble
I
Beach
think.
Golf Links?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
Pebble Beach Golf Links. That looks
I
hot.
like Pebble Beach. I love seeing those cars driving around because there are people that probably never drive their cars or very infrequently, but because they've trailered it there for
Yeah.
the show, they're like, let's take it out for a little cruise, and you just see, regardless of cost, you see rare metal, interesting stuff.
You see people driving straight up race cars.
Yeah, you see people push starting straight up race cars on the side of like Highway 1 because they got stuck. Wow.
Yeah, Pebble is it's craziness. It's just driving around is the best, but you got to have something an appropriate vehicle. Your C36 that's a good budget choice. That C36. Mm-hmm. That's got some interesting stories behind
Classic.
it.
People look at it. It's got some.
I did it in
cachet.
I did it in the $1 Million Lexus one year, which was really fun. That's got a good story. I had the only DeLorean. I had the DeLorean. Alex Roy had the Citroen SM, and Musto had the Charger. That was good. Good year.
Alex was the most comfortable, and you were second
I
most.
love the Citroen SM. You ever drive an old Citroen?
Never. Always
Fucking
wanted to.
coolest car.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy, that's the picture. Pull that up.
That looks
someone got to
awesome.
drive that. Who got to drive that? Was it? It wasn't Camisa. It was like Ed Lowe or one of those guys from Motor Trend.
Wow.
Got to drive that thing this year.
It was there. And
Did you see it driving?
No, I didn't. They did do the morning, where they have to. All the Concours cars do that 17-mile drive, and
Yeah.
you can park and just watch the cars drive by. I didn't. I was driving down from San Francisco that morning, so I didn't get to see it. But yeah, I got to see the car in the Star Lounge display, and it's not the actual car, but they built the total exact.
That car
Replica.
is so good looking.
Yeah.
It has all the right things.
Stance. The stance.
It's
is
all the
perfect.
stance.
Yep.
Yeah, and the right fog light placement.
And they weren't
so
building
many-
that.
Clean-looking motherfucker.
They weren't building that for style. They were building it to race. That's the other
that's-
thing. It was just
it's a
totally.
pretty shit race car if I remember my history correctly, which I may not, but I think it was not a good race car.
It got first in its class and second in one race. It wasn't.
It's
It
not
did,
that bad.
for making a race car of an S class. I think that's about as good as you can expect, considering what it was competing against.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. I drove the street version of that car, and it did drive really good. Go back to the fuchsia McLaren, Timmy. Pull that up. That we've talked about this guy Michael Fuchs on the show a bunch, who invented Tempur-Pedic foam, and he had 2 cars delivered at Pebble Beach, but one was a fuchsia McLaren 720S. There it is, parked next to his fuchsia Rolls-Royce Dawn.
Oh my god.
Fuchsia on white. Isn't that amazing? That's crazy.
You guys have a lot of cars.
That's crazy. Do you see the first Bugatti Chiron delivered in the U.S. is yellow on yellow?
Is it going to, was it the Bijan dealership?
It's. I don't think so.
that guy had that
That guy had
yellow
the
and
yellow
black one,
Veyron.
right?
Yeah.
The Veyron?
Look at that interior. Wow.
Yeah, this is a world I know nothing about, other than
This-
reading.
By all
and seeing-
accounts, this McLaren 720 is batshit crazy. Thad got to go in one. He reported from Dubai that he got to go in one, and he said he did it like similar to a 650S, and he said this car feels like it has 200 horsepower more than the 650S.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like the fucking 3-turbo McLaren I drove yesterday.
Oh, why don't we talk about that?
Ooh, 3 turbos.
How crazy was it?
It was crazy.
How was it? Because you've driven a bunch of crazy turbo stuff.
Yeah.
Single, twin, Hefner,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Where did it land? What did it feel like?
It's not entirely different from the standard car in terms of like you can hear there's a third sound. There's another sound. Like the 2 turbos on the regular McLaren, turbos make one sound, and then the bigger turbo makes a different sound.
Cool.
And so you can hear the 2 spooling up, and then the other one start to spool up. So it's the 2 standard turbos into an 83 millimeter turbo.
Whoa.
Back it. So so the disclaimer is they brought it out here to test drive it on 91 octane. So it doesn't run the full boost. So it's 1,000 horsepower instead of 1,200. Just 1,200 on.
All right, we should talk about
race
something else
gas.
then.
So it's not interesting.
I drove it.
I drove it.
in the
In the canyons,
rock
yes.
slide.
It was
probably.
extremely fast, and it made all the correct every sound
noises.
you would ever want a car to make. It makes all of them sounds.
Did it have the low end power of the
It has
normal
the
car, and then all of a
snarl,
sudden
and
you
then the
get-
spool, and then another spool, and then a bang, and then a whizz. It
And
has
it-
all of those.
Can you because those cars have
And then
a lot
also
of top
it-
end too. Do you feel a difference?
I didn't have enough.
You don't have road.
I didn't have enough road.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough road. Frankly, I had enough road to discern that this car is extremely fast and it works. Like it does work. They're doing like, look at that fucking Timmy, get off the internet. That BMW.
That was
Stop
racing
distracting me.
at the Historics.
That is pull that up just because it's so pretty.
They had an M1 and one of those
That is
CSLs
that
at the
is the
Historics.
prettiest goddamn thing I have ever seen. But but the car is really fast. Hypercar development out of North Carolina, and even crazier, it's a Spider retractable hardtop car with a functional roll cage in it, and the top goes around the cage.
Wow.
So you drove it with the top down, but the cage,
I saw the cage in your shot. That's
Yeah.
really cool that the top works
Yeah.
around it though.
and it's got a weird kill switch in it.
You just jump out and say fuck.
No, there's like a special way to start it that's like weird. and it shoots fire. Obviously, it shoots fire because it's, you know, why? And it has a fucking air brake. It has a proper wing, hydraulic air brake, and when it flips up, there's a big stop sign under the wing.
That's great. That's great.
It's very cool.
That's
It
got a
has
sense
one of
of
them little
humor.
Formula One fog lights, and there's no more trunk because there's the P1 nose, and the air goes through the nose like the 4GT with the P1 nose. I mean, this is like the kit is. Timmy, pull up. It's called Tri Boost. Obviously Boost McLaren. 650 or McLaren Spider or something like that. Hypercar Development is the name of the company. You'll know when you see it's got a giant wing on it. It's real crazy. You know, it sounds like a turbo engine is getting its teeth drilled with a dentist drill. 'Cause it's the extra sound.
That's awesome.
That looks like the GT3 car.
That's a race
That's
car.
not it. That's a race car.
Also has a giant wing.
Um,
I like the way those look. I like the 650. I was talking to Patrick Stevenson yesterday, and he likes the MP4 original design more than the 650 and the redesigned nose. And
I kind of do too.
I do not. I
They're
don't-
getting cheaper though. They're getting around $100,000.
Yeah, some of the repairs on those. This kit, so this kit for the is 110,000 plus a donor car, but he said you can get like some salvage title ones, you know, for like 75, 80, and you can fix 25 or 30 grand worth of shit, and for 220, you can get into a car that has 1,200 horsepower.
That's your goal for next March. You get your year anniversary, and you and you find a salvage McLaren.
Probably not a good idea.
I think it makes perfect fiscal sense. Nothing will go wrong.
So then this company also makes they make like an 800 kit too. That's like it's basically like pipes.
Is that
and-
for the children? Is that for
That's
like
for
Power
that's
Wheels?
for the huge pussies. Oh, that's it, Tim. Second picture from the left on top. That. No, that's
Wow.
a P1. Never mind. Sorry, it looks like a fucking P1 though. It's got like a 675 LT body kit on it.
you haven't driven a P1, right?
No, I never have. This I couldn't tell you. Then I could tell you that 918 was insane. They're real crazy. You know, if it's like that, it's insane too. You know.
I'm so curious what the experience is like of like a P1, which comes out of the box this way. Everything's engineered for this much power. It has this kind of delivery, and then you get a company like Hyperfast or whoever else that builds something to the same power level,
Yeah.
delivery by a different system. Like, you know, people will look at that and they'll go, "Oh, it's a budget P1. Why would you buy a P1?" I'm curious what you feel the difference is.
Well, a budget P1 means a fifth the price of a car that costs $1.5 million.
Right.
We're playing in huge numbers.
Oh
at this
no, I
point.
know we are, but you know, the
I
internet
think
likes
I
to
think
make
the
that
guy,
comment.
the customer that paid to have this car developed, the car I drove, it wanted a time attack car, and so this is a real crazy time attack car.
Yep.
He doesn't need it to be practical. He doesn't need it to be anything but real fucking fast for 5.5 minutes at a time. Which, you know, they just took it on a road trip, so it's fine. It's not what I'd call comfortable, because it's got racing seats and harnesses and a cage, and it's, you know,
Claustrophobic.
it's a little claustrophobic in there, but like it rides beautifully. It's not overly, you know, those McLarens, they ride unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been in one of them?
No.
Tyler?
No.
We got to get you in a McLaren. I mean, even
Jack
the-
Nicklaus edition.
Yeah, there we
Jack
go. It's got wood paneling on it. I'm in.
Even the quote crappy McLarens are very, very fast and very, very fun.
The 570 GT was.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove that across Germany.
It's
and
the
like,
shit.
whoa, yeah.
That's
it
the
was-
slow one.
I know.
You take people in the 570 GT, and to any normal human being, that's the fastest thing they've ever driven and or been in or been around. And like, then you go, this is the slowest thing they make, and then their mind are blown.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it rides so good.
Yeah, this was like that. It's just a shitload of power. You know, it's a ton of power. But it was limited by they said not to rev it over a certain thing because I wasn't. They're still tuning it. It was admittedly not finished, but it does work. So that's cool.
Speaking of over revving, so I was
Okay.
I was talking to Patrick. I did Motor Affair podcast last night, and some guy hit him up to offer a trade. This guy has an E30 wagon that he wide-bodied S54 swapped, and you know, and it looks really good. And then you start really looking at the engine photos, and he's running no no air filter at all.
Oh.
He's running open ITBs, which is not a good idea. No hood. And then
No hood.
in the post he says, I got this ECU and it revs to 9.5. And no, it doesn't. Because the car's stock red line is like $8,000. And so Patrick emails him. He's like, "Oh, did you change out like some internals? You must have like stiffened up some valve springs, or whatever." And the guy's like, "No, I just raised the limiter from these guys. It'll just go to 95." And Patrick looked it up, and there's at like 87ish. I think he read the valve shims will start to unseat themselves in that car, and this guy's going 7 past that and asking a lot of money for this vehicle on Craigslist right now. Like he wants almost $30,000.
Oh God.
Yeah, it seems like a really bold
Time
endeavor.
bomb. Expensive.
Oh, completely. I just like get away from this project.
Oh my God. We had a bunch of Facebook questions,
We do.
didn't we?
We do.
Okay.
Oh wait, before that, I want to finish up Pebble Beach. So other than staying in a garden shed, which
Yes.
I don't think is good consumer advice, although it's good video, if that's your goal.
We'll see. Yeah.
Might be good video.
Maybe.
What are some of the other fun things you found for free or very cheap at Pebble Beach to do?
The Monterey Historics are normally over $100, I think, for the ticket on Saturday. If you go on Thursday, it's only $30, and you get to see the first day of practice, where most of these guys haven't driven these cars hard in like a year, and they're braking and they're trying to figure out how to fix it. What am I saying? Kiss
How to
it.
kiss it.
Yeah, kiss it. How to fix it, and just throwing a wrench at it, getting really pissed off.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
but it's track time.
Yeah, they're still
out
on the
there-
track
yeah,
just driving
yeah.
the shit out of it, but it's cheap.
All right.
Um,
Is it a lot less crowded too?
Yes.
Sure, nobody-
yes.
like, no one's there, right?
I got to walk right up to do the Land Rover off-road drive thing. They were actually begging people to come do it, which if they
Did you have to park in a reasonable place too?
Yeah, so
awesome.
we walked right in. Yeah, but they last Range Rover I almost rolled it when I drove it, so I was, I was glad to redeem myself. And there's all the vendor booths are setting up. Some of them are going. Also, I think the best bargain of the bunch as far as the classic car auctions is Bonham's, because it's only $20 to get the wristband and go and watch. And it they had the 95 McLaren F1, the first street legal one that sold for $15 million, $15.6 or whatever.
Oh, did you get to watch that?
Yeah.
It's like it's exciting when it goes for big numbers like that, isn't it? When it crosses like 1 million, and then it crosses then they start going in increments of what did they open the bid with for that
I
McLaren?
don't remember.
I bet it went 1, 2, 3, 4. and
I wouldn't be surprised if they opened the bid less than 5.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
I mean, it
started
was going up by the million for
Yeah.
a bit, I'm sure.
Right.
I saw one like that where they jumped 2 million for a minute. It was crazy.
But
And then they won't even do like the smallest increment is like 50,000. It's like a whole Corvette is the smallest increment you can go.
I mean,
up
I'm
by.
sure you can call out. You can be like, I'll do 15,500,000.
One guy tried to split that once, and the auctioneer at RM made fun of him.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, they do that. Yeah, the Gooding one especially. Really, $500 on $1 million car? Are you? You seem just going. Are you fucking serious?
He made
Yeah.
fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
That one, and I saw the guy make fun of a woman who was like on the phone with
Waving, like,
someone,
"Hey."
waving at someone, trying to get them to come to their seat. He was like, ma'am, you're at an auction. If you wave, you might buy a Ferrari. Like, be careful. It's
Yeah,
very funny.
and it's interesting that at these crappy dealer auctions I go to for $500 cars, it's really the same kind of attitudes and setups of these guys spending
Do
$1
they
million.
get quite as drunk?
They're car dealers, so they're usually hammered all day. I mean, it's a mess.
That's cool. That's cool though. Those auctions, the auctions were my favorite part. I think of Monterey, sitting and watching that stuff, watching those people get drunk and spend money.
Yeah.
It's real fun. You got to get the bidders pass though. When you get a bidders pass, they treat you different than when you get a media pass. When I went with my old man and he got us bidders passes, I really enjoyed that because they look at you like you're not a piece of shit the way they do when you're like a media pass. It's weird.
Yeah,
They corral you in the back
'Cause
with
they
the media pass.
If you have media pass, they know you have no money. And it's the complete opposite ends of
no
the
one
financial
gets both.
spectrum.
Well,
Right.
and if you do have a bidder's pass, especially with these cars, it's perfectly acceptable to go up to this $15 million McLaren, open up the door, and look inside.
Yeah.
Which you get tased if you did that in a museum, or anywhere else. Same with parking. Like, there's people. I'm on a golf course in Monterey parking my car, and there's people just casually driving over the greens of this golf course. And
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah. They just expect.
I'm
it's
just
gonna
waiting
get
for someone to
fucked.
get it wrong and go in a sand trap, though.
Yeah.
Over here for the stadium for Rose Bowl, all of the parking for the Rose Bowl is on the golf course. Like every time there's an event, they park thousands of cars on the golf course.
Weird.
I'm like, I don't even know how this course survives the summer.
Yeah, I thought they had a parking lot for the Rose Bowl. Is it just overflow?
I didn't really. They might. If they do, it's real small. And if
Okay.
they're filling this thing up anywhere near capacity, there's cars on the golf course for like a
Wow.
mile. Yeah, I always kind of. You almost feel bad for the golf course a little bit, but not really.
I mean, it's grass.
Whatever.
Like, really, if you're parking on human beings or zebras, sure.
Imagine how much money they fucking make. How much Pebble Beach golf links makes.
Because their day rate's like 500.
Ooh,
So you want to
boy.
put cars on it for a weekend? They're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna have to resod this whole.
That's a business.
Yes.
That's a good one.
The parking lots are, like the Quail. How much is a ticket to the Quail? Do you know?
I think it takes like 400 maybe,
Yeah, and-
500.
And the Concorso Italiano is 200, and you could just go in parking lots. These guys spending $400 for tickets. You go.
I'll
look at the
tell
parking
you
lot.
what though, as someone who has been to the Quail, someone invited me. I didn't pay for the ticket,
Right.
and I got to go. It's open bar, and it's if you like drinking and cars, it is really nice because it's open bar. It's open oysters.
Really?
There's giant vendors of oysters. I mean, it is some truly decadent shit. It's champagne and mojitos and Chateaubriand and oysters, and there's a lot of it.
So if you go Roman snacking there, you could basically knock the price down to 300.
The
You
price
can eat
value
and drink
could
$100, no
potentially
problem.
be huge. Potentially, yeah. If you're a Supreme baller, they offer a Supreme Baller helicopter service back and forth to Laguna Seca. from
That's
the
right.
Quail.
I've heard of that.
Supreme Baller.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if anybody's listening, I'll take that invitation. You know.
Yeah, I've never been on that chopper, but that's the way to do it, I think. But it's if you can swing the ticket or have a hookup, it's worth it for the champagne and oysters if you're prepared to go hard. They do offer a bunch of test drives and stuff. You can do, I mean, not at the same time as the champagne, obviously, but they do Aston and Jag and Porsche all have test drive.
Yeah,
centers
McLaren and
out there.
Lamborghini were doing it too.
Were they also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of cars get sold that weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, we did. We bought my mom a Jaguar.
There?
At Pebble Beach. We
Oh,
ordered
shit.
it. Yeah, we ordered it from Pebble Beach, and it was shipped to Jaguar of White Plains.
I didn't know that.
In 3 days, they made a fucking F-Type appear in 3 days. It was
Wow.
amazing. It was so very
good
cool.
spec. That's a
yeah,
good- that's a
it was a
well-spec
pretty
car.
car too. Well,
Yeah.
it was well card. Questions on Facebook.
Question on Facebook. This is from Matt. I've noticed you and a lot of your guests lease cars. What are the financial personal preferences for that versus buying?
I will preface this by saying that in my most recent leasing adventure with the Focus RS, I have made a poor decision because I'm pretty much stuck with the car no matter what. And which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it as a car, but it physically hurts my back to drive it because I have a fucked spine and the seating position is not right. So I'm now screwed with a car that's kind of an expensive lease. The benefits are if you own your own small business, you can have a company car and it's tax deductible and stuff like that. And if you make a lot of money that is not taxed ahead of time, you need deductions like a company car to not have to pay a bunch of taxes. So it's one of those situations where either I lease myself something or the government takes the money. And so so that's it. If you don't own a small business or especially a small business involving cars like us, it makes sense. But ask your accountant if leasing a car is right for you.
Bingo.
That's what I did. My accountant in Chicago, who was amazing, said I should lease myself a car.
Good advice. Why don't you buy a cheap V12 R129 and then show Matt what he's missing?
It's sort of a been there, done that. I'd certainly be open to it if one popped up really cheap. But we were talking about this a little bit driving to lunch, how I love the hydraulic suspension on those things. And, of course, the V12 is so smooth, but the upkeep, I mean, it's like 3 times what a 500 would be. And I get it. It's not worth it to most people. But it's just really freaking cool. I'd definitely own one for sure.
If you are a glutton for punishment, which
Yes.
you are,
Yes.
then it's certainly worth it. If you are not a glutton for punishment and you sit in traffic all day, as you witnessed today, yeah, fuck it. V8's fine.
V8's fine. If you had to sell everything you have right now, except for one car, what would you keep?
If I was keeping one to drive, the sentimentality with my grandmother's car that she gave me when I was 16, I would keep that for sure.
Right.
The car that I really enjoy driving the most is that S600 or the Cayenne Turbo. I put a bunch of miles on that Cayenne Turbo. It's awesome.
Cayenne Turbo could be a well-rounded one car does it all kind of thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's fast enough to have fun in.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. If money were no object, what would be the ultimate hoopty that you'd want to add to the fleet?
What the fuck? How does it? If money were no object,
Right.
what would be the ultimate hoopty? So, the point of a hoopty is money is a huge object.
Right.
It's the object.
It's just
Otherwise-
more
Busted
hoopties.
rolls,
It's not one car; it's more. It just
Otherwise,
spreads
you're
out.
buying a car, not a hoopty.
more hoopties.
Oh, a new car. I just don't. It just doesn't do anything for me. I just feel sick. I did it once. I bought a new GTI, and I came out okay after a year. But
I came out okay.
I mean, I did. I bought it for 23, and I sold it a year later for 18. Wasn't too bad.
I don't think that's the point of the question. If I were to guess the point of the question, I would say like an expensive project car.
Yeah.
Like I think you know what I mean. Like find a fucking
300 SL.
a 308 with a toasted engine and put in a longitudinal LS swap with a transaxle and make your
Exactly.
own 288 GTO.
The dream trifecta for me is the 300 SL Gullwing. Finding one of those, like an unrestored, like Jay Leno's candy apple red one that he found
red
and
one,
put
yeah.
together. I love Duesenbergs. I love Duesenbergs. I could look at Duesenbergs for hours and
You're
hours.
in luck because they're getting cheaper by the day.
I feel like that they're not going to. Inflation's going to go up, and these are just going to stay the same. And then $1 million is going to seem like too much.
There's
in
a
30
few
years.
enough Duesenbergs and enough high profile collectors that it's going to be tough to get one of those in an affordable price in our lifetime. But the second tier stuff like Packards,
Yeah.
and it's just stuff that like no one thinks about. That's one tier down from a Duesenberg.
Yeah.
That stuff will become
Yeah, a
affordable.
Packard straight 8. Yeah, that,
I mean,
you know.
it's even starting to happen with like Cadillacs and stuff. Like the younger generation, myself included, just doesn't really care or have the space or whatever to keep a car like that. And so you can get some dope shit from the 30s and 40s for like nothing. We should all start. God, when that building is up, I'm gonna have some shit from the 40s, or I don't know, like one of them cool Chryslers from the 50s or something.
I had a 48 New Yorker that I
Really?
sold from my dealership. That was great.
Did
Yeah.
you enjoy driving it?
I did. Yeah, it called it a Spitfire inline, a straight 8.
Yeah.
Which a Spitfire is British, but it's an American engine. Why they called it a Spitfire, I don't know.
Did it shoot fire?
No.
That could be why.
No, I sold it on Bring a Trailer actually, and I had a 41 Buick. That was my favorite. Those were for an old.
Did
car
you?
I had.
Is it enjoyable to drive that stuff?
Yes, because it was a compound carburetor, so dual carb straight 8. So it actually got up and went and kept up with normal traffic and everything. It really wasn't a bother unless I needed to hit on the brakes hard, and then I was screwed. But it was still a great car.
I really want to get some stuff in the 50s to roll to Pebble Beach in. It's got to be old, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be old. Maybe have some with some fins. I don't know.
Yeah, a
Fins are
Packard
great.
Caribbean. I love those.
Yeah. That stuff and like Studebakers and shit. Like I feel like this stuff is going to become affordable because there's just a lot of it.
Yeah, tons of them. Market's shrinking.
there's the
gas,
Packard.
everything.
There's a Packard.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of Packard I was talking about. That's honestly, as far as Packards go, that's kind of an ugly Packard.
That's very family.
But
that's very
I'm
family
older.
doo-wop.
You've seen my car. I like the weird, ugly.
That is
strange
weird.
Stuff.
That's a weird, unfortunate Packard. I'm thinking more like from the see that gold one up top, Tim. Yeah, that. I'm thinking that guy.
Ah.
Yeah, that's not a great picture, but that's the era I'm talking about.
The other one was basically someone who was on their way to a Bel Air dealership, and the kid had to
Found
use the
better
bathroom,
financing
and they were
across
like, "All right,
the
we'll go
street."
to the bathroom. We can't wait." Yeah.
Yeah.
Chrysler Furies are also
The real
sweet.
goal
Oh, yeah,
is to
Plymouth
do
Fury.
some get some Randy Grubb, blast. You know Randy Grubb? He makes Jay Leno's tank car. You know that thing? It looks like
Okay.
a big Monopoly car.
Yeah.
Blastoline is the name of the company. He's like my favorite hot rodder ever because he's just an insane person and builds like these Alice in Wonderland hot
I
rods.
saw him sell one at Barrett Jackson, I think, years ago.
Could be,
There
yeah,
was
the blue
one.
the blue one, right? It was like
Is it Decaliner?
Not the deck. The Decaliner was the RV. I did a tuned episode about the motorhome, which is the coolest fucking. Timmy, pull up the Blastoline Decoliner. Is the coolest motorhome that has ever existed because you could drive it from the roof, like it had.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Look at that shit.
So cool.
That has a.
Gorgeous.
It's got like you can drive it from the normal position, or you can go up on the roof and drive it up there. And up top, there's like a cockpit of it's like a boat, and you're driving a boat.
Really well done though.
It's the
really
coolest thing you have ever seen. Find a couple other pictures.
It's very
Tim,
Steve
if you can.
Zissou submarine. Willy Wonka.
Go to
The stairway up the back.
left of that. There's the top deck view. More left. There. So that's the top.
Look at that.
The
Look at that
steering wheel.
floor.
The steering wheel's not attached, but that's
What a
how
floor.
you drive it from the roof. It's so sick. God, I love Randy Grubb.
Genius.
He is so smart and
Genius.
awesome. I want to drive anything that guy builds. Anything. Go down, Tim. There's the cockpit. The inside cockpit view is very cool too. So look,
look at
see
that.
there. So see what's going on in this one is what you do is there's a shaft that it latches onto the ceiling, and you pull it down and you pop the steering wheel off and just click the shaft onto this hub, and then you bring the steering wheel upstairs with you and click it on up there, and that's how you steer from the roof. It's so simple, and then someone can sit in this seat that's normally the driver's seat, and it'll be like the thing is just driving itself.
The steering column, like all the metalwork is so gorgeous. The shape of everything, it's so good.
Is there a lot of you drove it from the top? Mm-hmm. Is there a lot of players that pretty tight?
I mean, it's a big bus, so I don't have. What I don't have is look, see someone driving it from the roof.
So,
I don't have any frame of reference.
like your Fox body before you figured out that it was the
steering
I
hub,
remember
yeah.
I think you wrote about it.
I did.
It's
So
an
I've
RV.
never driven a standard whatever the fuck that is. So I don't know, but it is the most. Look at
Look,
that
that's
interior.
so good.
Pull that up. That is fucking glorious.
Looks like a mechanical whale.
Glorious interior. Oh,
Really
I want to. You just. That's your Burning Man vehicle.
Oh, completely.
Live in, cruise in.
Totally. You'd be the king. That is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It looks like a blimp that just drives on the ground.
that's amazing.
Badass.
What else you got?
Last one would be like a used car industry question. Can anything be done to fix the broken used car market? It's full of sleazy salesmen, crappy cars, and people trying to pull one over everybody. Just because you work there. You can say no. You can say no comment. I plead the fifth.
Well, I mean, there's the CarMax setups. There's a lot of that, the AutoNations and everything else. I think, I mean, you sort of get what you pay for. I mean, if you're really a bargain hunter and you're wanting to dig around, then you just got to be more careful. But if you're going to want that high quality of service and really good cars that are going to check out and warranted out the wazoo, you're going to pay for it. And a lot of people just aren't willing to pay for it. They're gonna go on Craigslist and find the cheapest one they can. And it's just like the airlines. They click on whatever's the cheapest airline, not the one that offers the best service. And I think that's just the way it's always going to be, right?
Good point. The buyers want the cheapest car they can get, but they want excellent service.
Where did you found my picture from
the
5 years
sellers-
ago?
Oh my gosh! And the sellers are gonna. Why would they cater to the customer in a perfect way if they're not getting the money that they want?
What will it take for you today?
But that's-
Getting this fine.
Is that Obama?
Yep.
That's pretty good Photoshop.
That's a pretty good Photoshop indeed. Yeah. No, dude. There's too many opportunities to be shady.
Mm-hmm.
Too many opportunities. I've never been burned by paying a higher than expected price for like a better than expected product.
Mm-hmm.
Like that minivan I bought, like I paid $2,000, probably more than I should have. But like I got the 2-year extra warranty, and the thing was like perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
And I just had it was never a headache. It was never an issue. Like,
Yeah.
That there may be maybe the reality that not everyone can afford that luxury of
Yes.
paying away that headache. But
Well, yeah.
Some of
exactly
the vans I saw that were cheaper, like, were rough. So they looked kind of rough. What are you gonna do? You know.
I think that kind of plays into the you shouldn't like. It's better to buy the fully loaded version of the cheaper car than the stripper version of the nicer one. Like if you're gonna go to a used car dealership, don't stretch for something you really want. And if you feel like it's not going to be that well put together, it's better to go. Oh man, I'd love to get a 5 Series, but if I get a 5 Series for $7,000, like, oh, this salesman's going to fuck me over. It's like, no, you're fucking yourself over. Like, you
Yeah.
get a Camry, and it's going to be awesome, and it will always work.
Right. The financing is a little tough because they do get people in
Financing
way over
is a
their
different
heads.
They do.
It's
Subprime lending and strange interest moves in the back. Like, that's a difference.
Nobody ever
subject,
thinks
for
about
sure.
insurance, how much more it's going to be with the car they bought that's only 3 years old and everything else. And then once the total bill comes, they're just buried. And I've seen that. Like the first person I ever sold a car to when I moved from CarMax to the Chevy dealership was a guy who walked up and he said, "I want this truck." I was like, "Do you want to test drive it?" "No, I want it." This was the first person I ever walked up and talked to. He had $10,000 in negative equity on his trade. This was back before General Motors Bank went bankrupt and everything else. They rolled it in. He bought it full sticker, didn't say a word, high interest rate. I made $1,500 my first day, first person I ever talked to, and he was buried in that truck for the next 6-7 years. He was never going to get out of it. And
Jeez.
that was pretty shady, I guess. But I went to Ultimate Electronics and bought a plasma screen, thinking that was going to happen every day, and it didn't happen the second day or the third day or the fourth day. And so, I was stupid with my money too.
That's great. Circle of life.
Yeah.
Wow.
You still got the plasma?
No, it died. Yeah, Zenith. Yep.
It's funny. You both learned a lesson that day.
Yes.
I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of shady guys, but I know a lot of chill car salesmen that are really like into their product and knowledgeable, and they're not total shitbags.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, they're selling new cars in general, but I don't know. That's a favorite meme too.
Oh, that's where that Photoshop we saw came from.
With Obama, yeah.
Yeah.
Same hand and everything.
Well, thanks for coming in, Tyler. Good time.
Yeah, thank you. This is, like I said, this is a crazy whirlwind experience as far as where I'm at now, and being able to do this with you. It's just really an honor. So I appreciate it.
It's cool to have you. It's cool to have you in the video show this morning, which that video will not be out by the time this podcast goes out. There's a couple more videos, but I did drive the C36, and it was nice. Handled well and makes nice noises, and it was all kinds of fun. And what's up next for you? Where are you heading from here?
I'll fly back to Wichita and get back to work on the day job, and more videos, catching up on the hoopty fleet that I haven't seen in almost 2 weeks. And
Drive that shit.
yeah,
How many
exactly.
dead batteries are you going to be looking at?
Yeah,
Are you on tenders?
It's no. It's usually wintertime when that happens, and yeah, it's definitely Russian roulette of starting the cars when you get back. What are you going to get? And the driveway's like a abstract painting of fluids, what's leaking, and the little CSI of, okay, that leak, who do you think it came from? Like, what cars were in the driveway earlier?
Follow it back under the other cars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming in. It was fun. Plug it one more time. HooviesGarage.com. Where else?
And AutoTrader.com/oversteer.
/oversteer with Doug Demuro. Oh, Doug.
Doug says hi, by the way.
He has an open. I say hi right back. Doug has he knows as well as I do. He has an open invite anytime he's in town to come on in. As do you, my friend.
Thank you.
Safe travels. Enjoy your C36. It is a lovely vehicle. And before we bid you farewell, the Smoking Tire podcast, we must remind you, is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. All you need is a great internet connection, like we finally have. Finally, only 5 years later. And and then you might want a microphone also, and maybe something to say. But based on some of our shows, maybe also not. It doesn't really matter sometimes. See y'all later. HooviesGarage.com. Check it out. Peace out.